Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome back to another unofficial H3 waiting room. Today we are going to be reacting to the content poop created by BadEmmaPanda. BanEmmaPanda. I honestly don't know how Keemstar said it so wrong, but we do have just a few quick little Reddit and Instagram posts to get through, but nothing major. And then we're going to get right into it. So let's just get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Is it going? Happy Monday. Is everything working fine? My thing is just low-key glitching out a little bit. There we go. Sorry, I was trying to make sure that the stream's running fine. Okay. So basically, everybody's putting their hat into the ring for Creator Clash. I don't know if I think it was Keemstar first. Keemstar said, "Open letter to Creator Clash. I know I am Keemstar, Killer Keemstar, and this may not seem legit, but as a longtime fan and viewer of Creator Clash, I am very interested in buying what remains of the IP. This is a serious inquiry. Owners, please reach out to me for talks. Creator Clash." Imagine the content. Oh, lol cow Creator Clash. I mean, wasn't it already? But then Ethan, so Harley decides to also put out a little bit of an open letter. He says, "Open letter to Creator Clash. I know I am not Keemstar, and this may not seem legit, but as a longtime fan and viewer of Creator Clash, I am very interested in buying what remains of the IP. This is a serious inquiry. Owners, please reach out to me for talks." Ethan also offers to buy it very generously. He also offers to buy Ian's house. That's something that feels like a nice sentiment, a real good send off for his old buddy to be like, "Hey, you know what? I know you aren't doing well. I know you hate me, but I'll give you a little nest egg." It really just shows how generous of a guy he really is. But yeah, so Keemstar and Harley and Ethan, and then Tom Ward, surprisingly enough. Tom Ward wants to buy Creator Clash 2. Well, Creator Clash 3, but Creator Clash 3 2 as well. You get what I'm saying. But Tom Ward said, "Everyone is bidding for Creator Clash, and I feel left out. So I'd like to throw my hat in the ring. I could probably put like $500 down and make $250 monthly payments until it's paid off. It's a pretty sweet deal. Think about it and let me know. This is a real negotiator. This is how he gets all those ads." Let's not forget. I think that they're going to give it to Tom if we're being realistic. With his catalog of famous collaborators. We wrote a Creator Clash fanfic on Girl with a Microphone stream last night. That's pretty good. I popped in for a second when she had Alex on, but I didn't see that. That's pretty funny. How did it end up? Was it a fanfiction, or was it like a fan fiction? You know what I mean? Did they all rail Ian? But Ethan posted this on his story, showcasing, this was updated, I believe, to remove Hassan at some point. I don't know if he's back on or if he's still on. I don't know what the whole logistics of that were. I'm pretty sure at some point, though, he was not on there at all. But they have Hassan as the polar opposite to InfoWars on this media bias chart by... I was just looking at it earlier because I was looking at another website. Yeah, Adfontes. Adfontes media bias chart. Here, I'll just pull it up real quick. It shows you from the most extreme left to the most extreme right, and from original fact reporting high effort all the way down to contains inaccurate fabricated info. So Hassan, where is Alex Jones? I can search. It's good, cool. It's cool too because you can search stuff on here. InfoWars with Alex Jones. InfoWars. They're putting chemicals in the water that are turning the freaking frogs gay. Wow, I think he got lower. Did they lower him on this list? I think he's even lower now. But he was the polar opposite of this, which it appears to be that one, like, you know, selective or incomplete unfair persuasion. Or we'll go up even a little higher. What's the highest that Hassan could be? He's in the less category. This says contains misleading info. What's the parallel to that? Yeah, can selective or incomplete unfair persuasions. Let's see, is Hassan on here? I guess I could just look him up, right? Hassan Abi. Come on, search. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there we go. We still streaming? We still going? Crashed for a second. Oh, it did. What are you telling me? I can't look him up? Don't do me like that. I'm so confused by what this limit 5 per day. Free limit 5 per day. I just looked at Alex. I looked at one other website. And that was it. I don't even remember what it was actually now. God damn it, whatever. Doesn't matter. If somebody else wants to look it up, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, the Alex Jones of the left. That's basically the point that's being made here. And here's the parallels in thought that are being made.
Hamas and Hamas are lightweights compared to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And it's all come out, I told you about 25 years ago, but it's all come out in the documents, the USAID money, it's come out of Israel. Israel doesn't even deny it. Netanyahu, since he first got in office off and on 25 years ago, openly funds Al-Qaeda and then ISIS all over the Middle East and funded them and gave them air cover.
So then you have that, and on the other hand, you have obviously ISIS, which is this terror cell that seemingly never attacks Israel and only kills Muslims. Weirdly enough, okay? Don't know.
I got my feelings hurt because I suggested watching Paige Christie's rant about Snark, but everyone was saying it was a dumb idea because she got info wrong, as if we were watching her for info. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll check that out on Wednesday, because I just know this BanEmmaPanda video is going to take a long time. It's like 2 hours long, but I'll add that one to the list. I like looking at some slop here and there. I saw a video from a creator that had like 1,000 subscribers and their videos were getting like 200 views. And they were like, Ethan Klein needs to stop making fun of Anissa. He needs to stop attacking Anissa. It was a pretty funny video, honestly. I didn't want to pull it up because it's like, they're technically a bigger channel than me, but I don't want to spread unnecessary hate to what are smaller creators, like myself, you know. Because, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they post that often either. It was just honestly a funny video. But I digress.
What that's about, I'm not going to point any fingers here. Has the American forces actually defended ISIS at times? Yes. Has Israel defended ISIS at times in Syria? Yes, they have. But they also fight ISIS all the time. Not Israel. Israel doesn't fight ISIS. They've apologized for killing.
Welcome.
Also, he's just wrong when he stated that like they only kill Muslims. It's just not true. But okay. And then Ethan posted this as a monthly reminder for everybody, so I have to do my due diligence and share it as well. Never believe that anti-Semitism never believe that anti-Semites are completely unaware of the absurdity of their replies. They know that their remarks are frivolous, open to challenge. But they are amusing themselves, for it is their adversary who is obliged to use words responsibly. Sorry, let me zoom in on this. There we go. For it is their adversary who is obliged to use words responsibly. Since he believes in words, the anti-Semites have the right to play. They even like to play with discourse, for, by giving ridiculous reasons, they discredit the seriousness of their interlocutors. They delight in acting in bad faith, since they seek not to persuade by sound arguments, but to intimidate and disconcert. If you press them too closely, they will abruptly fall silent, loftily indicating by some phrase that the time for argument is past. Jean-Paul Sartre. I don't know how to say that. Sartre? But yes, it's the whole thing that I've tried to make clear is that a lot of the time, it's not about proving an individual wrong, especially on like on social platforms. What you were trying to do is prove something to an audience that might not be already swayed. So it is not necessary. So you should not get bogged down in the individuals and focus more on like the sentiments that you're trying to express, because there are people that don't really care about the actual discussions that they're having and just see it as a time to play, like it said, basically. And in other news, Dan Clancy, CEO of Twitch, caught begging for views in chat. What a fucking weirdo loser. I can't wait for him to be unemployed. DJ Clancy said, I am shamelessly going into chat of streamers I know to ask for raids when they are done. I am doing my first charity stream for St. Jude's as part of the GCX marathon. Not listening since I am streaming. I am going till 1 a.m. DJ Clancy has been timed out for 600 seconds. You just got you got a 10-minute ban? I'm confused. But good stuff. And in other news, in other boxing news, Rhett and Link boxing, it's finally happening. Remember when I literally called it. I said, creator clash. Did they even try and get Rhett and Link involved? I think the answer is no. If I'm being completely honest, I think the answer is no. I don't know if that's copywritten. Sorry, we'll run it back. Fuck it, we'll take the claim.
Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans and YouTube viewers from around the world, the time has come. After decades of being best friends and business partners, the blood has finally boiled over. It's time to settle this with fantastic fisticuffs, announcing Rhett versus Link, Bloody Body. First up, he'll be fighting out of Burbank, California by way of Bowie's Creek, North Carolina, standing at a towering 6 foot 7 inches tall and ready to rain down destruction, Rhett, the Massive Man McLaughlin. His opponent, fighting out of Burbank, California, by way of Bowie's Creek, North Carolina, standing at a respectable 6 foot 0 inches tall, and with a record of wreaking mayhem, Link Wildcard Neal. It all goes down August.
You gotta admit, Link's straight aura farming.
Wildcard Neal. It all goes down August 24th. 2 best friends enter. 1 best friend leaves. Nothing will ever be the same.
Oh, Link's serious about this. Look at this. Rhett's looking at him like, "Are you sure about this, buddy? Are we sure we want to do this?" And Link's like, "I don't even need to fucking look at him. If I look at him, I'm going to knock his head off his shoulders right here.
I'm genuinely concerned about what we're going to do about Good Mythical Morning while you're in the hospital.
Oh, is that right? You talking about visiting you and then going back and doing the show?
I'm going to punch you so hard that I'm going to knock your head off, and then I'm going to take a
What did I just say? But Link's going to do it to Rhett. They're trying to knock each other's head off. Did he just say he's put a shit down his neck hole? Let me run this back. Yeah, the suits do look good. Is that Houndstooth? I don't think so.
punch you so hard that I'm going to knock your head off, and then I'm going to take a in your open throat, and then my is going to mix with your and your stomach, and then my microbiome is going to overtake your microbiome, and then when you give a stool sample to your doctor, he's going to be like, this isn't even your this is the of a winner.
When I out this that you down my throat, I'm gonna make your kids eat it. And then when your kids the that you down my throat, I'm gonna adopt your kids because I'm a much more positive role model.
All right, fellas, let's save that for the ring. Let's square it off, face to face. Get one last good look at each other, fellas.
You sure you want to do this?
I'm not actually going to take a shit in your throat. It's just
I
something
know
you
that. I'm just saying, do you want to get punched in the face? I don't want to get punched in the face. It's
What
important
are we
to me.
going to do if we don't actually do the fight? This is what the people want. This is what they clicked on.
We could show them the trailer to season 2 of Wonder.
Is this just them making fun of Creator Clash? That is what it seems like.
Hall. You know how hard it is to get people to watch a trailer on YouTube these days.
And that would be poetic because that's kind of how Wonderhole works, because you click on something that's super sensational and then it becomes something else, something even better.
Yeah. That's not really what's happening here because we promised people to fight, and all we're showing them is a trailer.
Yeah, but the principle is pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and show it to them before they click away.
Well, then, and after the trailer, we can tell them about the live event where they can come scream Wonderhole with us in person.
It's a good idea.
Watch this.
We've stranded our
You know what's even fun? They did it. I literally said it didn't need to be an actual fight. You didn't need to have the actual fight. It was unnecessary to make it a real boxing event. You could use it as a facade. You could use... Oh my God. They're geniuses. They're geniuses.
ourselves on this homemade raft.
We're about to play an extreme game of hide and seek.
We're going to spend one night in this tiny home. We'll be visiting a series of hotels that have some amazing
We moved. Oh my God.
We found trunks.
Oh, Rhett Link, do you know TV's Rainn Wilson?
I was on The Office for 9 seasons, 3 Emmy nominations, but now I work here.
That was a predator sound!
Rhett was actually on Rainn Wilson's podcast Soul Boom talking about religion and stuff. Good watch.
Bring it out! Why are they sealing up boxes with nothing in it?
Don't pull my heart!
Which of you is taller?
Me.
Who?
Rhett.
Oh!
Smelling salts.
Oh my God!
5 stars. 5 stars! Oh, what is wrong with you? What have you been doing in your jacket?
Is this a joke to you?
Oh, you're a little pinhead.
You guys gotta go.
Oh, Papa. You want some company?
We ain't gonna be gobbling any loaves.
Actually, it says Book of Morgan.
Oh! 5 stars!
Shut up, I'm trying to die over here.
I'm sorry, dude. It's worth it.
Wonderhole Season 2 premieres Sunday, August 24th on YouTube. Each episode will be available early and ad-free on the Mythical Society.
And announcing a real, actual live event. An evening with Rhett and Link.
Watch episodes of Wonderhole before anyone else.
Followed by a live Q&A with us, moderated by Stevie.
With exclusive merch and VIP meet and greets.
2 shows in Los Angeles on Saturday, August 16th.
2 shows in Seattle on Sunday, August 17th.
Tickets are available now for Mythical Society members, and general tickets on sale July 23rd.
I'm telling you, there's a reason Rhett and Link are the fucking, like, they're the peak of YouTube. I would say that they are the most successful YouTubers in terms of their content creation. There have been people that have moved over to movies, that have done other things. What they have created is phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. No, I'm literally wondering though. This feels like unless it was done way before, like this all was filmed way before the Creator Clash like got canceled. This feels like it was like, I don't know, because how long ago would this have been filmed? This came out 7 hours ago. Like they would have had to put up this whole stage and like set up this whole, like, I'm wondering. I'm on the fence. They truly are like the best dynamic duo. Yeah. And they just seem like nice guys too. They seem like genuinely good dudes. They are Christian. They were Christian evangelists, and then they kind of fell out of their religion. But like Rhett specifically has gone on like multiple religious podcasts and talked about his like views on like religion and his views on Christianity and stuff. Very interesting guys. And this just proves to me that they know how to do it. And they also are doing that other thing that I've talked about before. It doesn't need to be a boxing event. You could make it any type of event, and you can add these kind of like interesting elements as the front facing like media aspect. But actually have the event just be like a meet and greet and hanging out and some cool little chats. Basically make it like people talking on stage about stuff, watching little videos that you pick out from old content or new content, whatever. But also having their own website and having their own, I don't know if this is an app, maybe. The way this looks to me is like they almost have an app for it, but I assume it's a website, obviously. And having your own website where you can put all of your content to get like one full ad revenue, but also the because you get like not just ads on the videos, but you know what I mean, site ads, stuff like that, other advertisements and sponsorships that you get, but also you can do more intense content, more crazy stuff that you couldn't put on YouTube. They're the peak. Here, I have to say, I'd skimmed this before, and then earlier this morning I was going through some of the links, and quite a few Al Jazeera, I will say. Some of them are more important than others. Some of them are really just nothing burgers, like, okay. But we'll try and go through them a little bit here and there as he's talking about stuff. Let's just get into it, I guess. I'm going to speed it up. Let's hope he doesn't talk too fast, because then I'll have to slow it back down. Content warning. This video contains potentially upsetting... Oh yeah, and then I should have read this too. This is so stupid. Update. Ethan Klein got this video age restricted by mass reporting it for his own horrid clips in which he sexualizes children. Crazy. We'll talk about it when we get there. But I think that he wouldn't need to mass report it if the clips are what you're saying, because... like, yeah, especially if you're using them in a context where you're presenting them as such, then of course it's going to get age restricted. But if this gets age restricted, who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck. Oh no, what's going to happen? Try me. Try me, internet. And I mean, it didn't ask me. When I went onto the page, it didn't ask me if I was above 18. Just saying.
We've got some edgy material here, and watch your hands, because you're gonna get cut up on this one here, guys. You can scar me, but you can't stop me. Now that is interesting and very deep and poetic. But what's even more interesting is if we just go a couple pixels down. Boom, that's some good camel toe, girl. Yeah, nothing like making a political statement. Like showing off that camel hoof, girl. Yeah, let me get down with that shit, boy. Can smell it from here. Shit.
So again, starting off with something that's been talked about ad nauseum. Oh, did I close the page I had open with it? Yeah, okay. If you want to get the full rundown, the girl with a microphone did a great video. Enough of the lies. Ethan Klein marathon victim video. Where she explains that he was trying to basically make a parody of r/bravery jerk and the people that were on that website getting off to these like weird things and like the depravity within that. Is it an extreme piece of satire? Yes. Would I think that would I say that it's probably too far? Yeah, probably. But do I think it makes him like a bad person? No, especially not for the time that it came out. And especially because the point, again, is to critique the people that are making these points genuinely, not to actually make an observation.
Pretty brutal little scars. Nothing that a heavy night of fucking won't incur, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, ignoring the camel fucking that fat, juicy, juvenile vagina. Nigga wants to fuck that shit, boy. Yeah. Ignoring that, you can scar me, son, but you can't stop me. Yeah.
What you just watched is a video of Ethan Klein, supposed YouTube royalty, viciously
Careful with BadEmmaPanda. He takes down reactions of his videos in the hopes people counterclaim so he can dox you. Oh no! Take the video down, George. Oh no!
harassing a victim of the Boston bombing terrorist attack. She was 17 years old at the time of the attack, something that Ethan clearly knew, given that in his video, which was filmed by his wife Hila Klein, he refers to her as a juvenile, meaning child. This is the sort of content that propelled H3H3 and its team, at the time only Ethan and Hila, to worldwide YouTube stardom. When people talk about the old H3H3, about how great their old videos were, about how they used to be really funny, this is the sort of content that they're talking about. Ethan and his fan base has since been lying about this video. Ethan has been pretending that this was some sort of...
The funniest part is he won't even have any claim to it being... there would be no claim to it being copyright infringement purely because... oh, why am I zoomed out? I'm not even going to be able to watch the full thing because of the amount of time we have, so... And I mean, I'm going to be adding quite a bit to this, so...
Biting satire that he didn't mean to sexually harass this woman, rather he was parodying people who are sexually harassing her. This is simply a lie for two pretty clear reasons. One, you do not parody sexual harassment by engaging in it yourself. And two, Ethan...
I don't think you understand what a parody is. Okay, then how would you parody sexual harassment?
Was clearly agreeing with the people who are actually harassing this woman, something that is revealed by the video's initial title, and there's nothing in the video itself that would indicate that it was meant to be at anything but the actual terrorism victim's expense. Ethan lies like this a lot, as you're going to be seeing. Now, you might think that it's poisoning the well for me to bring this up immediately at the start of this video. After all, my main disagreements with Ethan Klein don't really have anything to do with who he is as a person. The thing that actually matters to me is that he's a vehement defender of the genocidal Israeli state, and I have refuted him extensively on those terms. But the thing with Ethan is that he knows he can't respond to me on those terms, so he hasn't even tried to. So when
Let me just go back real quick. I mean, to be fair, this is a crazy title, but also all of his titles were weird stuff like this. So, this doesn't make me think that he is on the side of it. She was brave enough to survive. I wish they were too. I'd like to see what the whole video was, because I wasn't a fan this far back, so I wouldn't have seen the original one. But I'd like to see the full context. Does this mean that he has the full video? Just upload it then.
Seeing. Now, you might think that it's poisoning the well for me to bring this up, and he's a he can't. I pretty much went looking for dirt on me as a person, and he uncritically believed and spread the first rumor that he found, which was him accusing me of being a pedophile.
Here's a tweet from him. You guys will enjoy this. It says, "Oh, Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids now? Where's the video evidence of it? I was looking to jerk off anyway." You think I'm kidding? That's a real tweet. That's his son's guy right there, boy.
Is he literally just going to go, "It's a lie"?
BadEmpanada.
Now, that was the first time Ethan had ever replied to me. And what he did was hold up a fake tweet to the camera and say, "This is a real tweet." Now, to be clear, it's not a real tweet. I wasn't on Twitter in October 2023, something that is incredibly easy to confirm given the fact that the tweet shows that it has 4 replies. And if you search for my handle and the dates in question, there are no such replies.
What?
This tweet was made by a pro-Israel harassment organization called the Shirion Collective, who then spread
There's 4. Well, okay, what are the replies to then? You're saying that it's just
something that is incredibly easy to confirm, given the fact that the tweet shows that it has 4 replies. And if you search for my hand,
so what is your claim then? That it is like a? Are you saying that it's a inspect element? Because there would be an easy way through like Photoshop and through artifact like analysis to be able to see if it's a real text or like if it's a real image or not of actual
handle and the dates in question, there are no such replies. This tweet was made by a pro-Israel harassment organization called the Shirion Collective, who then spread it in a defamation campaign against me. The leader of this organization, by the way, was later outed as Daniel Linden, a professional pornographer who writes guidebooks for OnlyFans. So yeah, only the highest top-tier level of verification and sourcing from Ethan Klein. And Ethan was all too happy to latch onto this just to get back at someone who was criticizing him for his political views. And I think the most pathetic part of this is that he only really did this to get back at Hassan Piker. This seems to be where everything that Ethan does stems from. He has like this weird obsession with Hassan Piker. And pretty much everyone who he attacks, he's primarily attacking them as a means of getting back at Hassan Piker.
I mean, Hassan has been glazing up this dude BadEmpanada.
So Ethan Klein, in the name of getting revenge against Hassan Piker, went looking for personal dirt on me, solely because Hassan Piker reacted to a single one of my videos, which to be clear, was not even a video that had anything to do with Ethan Klein. It was about Lonerbox and Destiny. And Ethan Klein clearly thinks that it's okay to spread clearly made up shit about people, the most malicious and disgusting shit imaginable, literally accusing them of wanting to rape babies because they made a few videos refuting his political opinions and his
Let's not forget, because the one thing I want to hear fucking BadEmpanada talk about is the Drew Pavlov thing. The open source. You can go check it out whenever you want. It's the comment section. I have the document here. One sec. Let me pull it up. The annexures. So here are all of his messages, all of his tweets, so you can go look at. And yeah, maybe some are fake. Who knows? Maybe, but if they're all fake, why did your legal team drop you? Why did like there's just like all this stuff would be so easy to disprove then.
Ex-podcast co-host reacted to one of said person's videos. Remember that when dealing with Ethan Klein, he thinks that's totally fine. Ethan has a long and sordid history of doing stuff like this. His entire career is built on little more than attacking others. He constantly derides defamation and so-called snark. Yet my first ever interaction with him was literally him trying to defame me with pretty much the worst allegations you can ever make against someone, that they're a pedophile. He's done this to plenty of other people. He's done it to the Twitch CEO Dan Clancy.
DJ Dan Nonce. You like that? How do you say it in England, what they call pedos? Nonce, but Dan Nancy. That's good. And it's Nazi. It's Nazi and pedo in one. Dan Nancy.
It's not as good as you think it is.
What?
And he has also recently been bizarrely accusing the journalist Taylor Lorenz of being a pedophile because she interviewed a 17-year-old for a story, and she dared to post a video that I showed in the intro of Ethan Klein sexually harassing.
Can you show an actual thing of him calling her a pedophile? Because the insinuation is that she's talking to underage kids, you know, without their parents' knowledge, and in a way that is to do it without their parents' knowledge, like to circumvent having to speak to the parents, which is predatory, regardless of if you think it is that bad. I mean, it's still a predatory act.
What he called a juvenile. Ethan Klein clearly has a warped idea of evidence. He thinks that just talking to a 17-year-old once is pedophilia, yet apparently
it's not. Again, strangers lurk everywhere, and where children's guards are down, there will always be those ready to swoop in to take advantage of them. Is he saying that they're going to sexually take advantage of them? No, but there is an element there. Again, Ethan's pretty careful with his words to avoid defamation cases. I will say that maybe you could draw that conclusion if you want, but that really goes down to the interpreter. The actual statement claimed is that she is acting predatorily on to underage people on Roblox, which she does.
Apparently, him sexually harassing what he implied was a child, literally on video, isn't. And he also dedicated a number of supposedly classic H3H3 reaction videos to doing this to music producer Patrice Wilson. In his videos about Patrice Wilson, Ethan Klein literally mimicked calling the FBI on the basis that Patrice was supposedly a pedophile.
Hello? Hi, I'd like to report a crime. Yeah, my name is Ethan Klein.
Oh, wait, I'm confused. What was the point of bringing this up?
Pedophilia, yet apparently him sexually harassing what he implied was a child, literally on video, isn't. And he also dedicated a number of supposedly classic H3H3 reaction videos to doing this to music producer Patrice Wilson. In his videos about Patrice Wilson, Ethan Klein literally mimicked calling the FBI on the basis that Patrice was supposedly a pedophile.
Hello? Hi, I'd like to report a crime. Yeah, my name is Ethan Klein. Okay, I just witnessed on YouTube a man raping and eating a minor. She was 8. She was only 8 years old.
Is he really confused why this video got age restricted when he has stuff like this, like just within the first 10 minutes? The first clip is like literally this, like, come on, bro, you're confused that this got age restricted?
Oh, on YouTube right now. Okay. Okay, dude, I just saw it on YouTube. He was eating and raping a little 8-year-old girl. His name is Patrice Wilson. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. Okay, you got other calls about this? You guys know about this? He's still making videos, dude. Sean, dude, I don't know but he's still out there. Sean, we gotta do something about this, dude.
Ethan then made a follow-up video in which he and Gila encouraged his viewers to call the FBI on Patrice Wilson for supposedly being a pedophile.
Well, what do you think now, Hila? Is he a pedophile? What do you think?
We need to call the FBI.
In his videos defaming
This man doesn't know what a joke is. Is it tasteless? Maybe. Is it crass? Definitely. Is it offensive to Patrice Wilson? Yeah, definitely. But an extreme joke is not an actual call to action in the same way, like, say, people were, saying that someone should call CPS to his house in Denham's chat, which wasn't being moderated properly while watching your video. So,
Patrice Wilson, Ethan himself was the one who sexualized situations that were not sexual at all.
Talk about insinuations, right? I mean, people were able, if you could maybe take the Ethan's calling Taylor Lorenz a pedophile, but we could also take that you are saying that people should call CPS then, right? Because you're saying all these things about Ethan and the way that he acts.
Situations involving children. He would then project this onto Patrice, often seemingly on little basis aside from the fact that Patrice is black.
Dude, that's fucked up. You know what that is a metaphor for, Hila? Do you know what I'm going to say?
I don't want to know.
Guys, I don't know if I need to say it, but look what he's doing, okay? Just look what he's doing, okay? And use your imagination. I don't want to say it on film. It's too fucked up. It's too obscene, okay? It's too fucked up, but it's here, okay? Just use your imagination and think about it. She's a young girl. She's never, and he's, there. I mean, I'm not going to spell it out. I'm not going to say it explicitly. It's not okay to say. I mean, it's in the video. I'm not making it up. But just watch his finger rolling around in the red, sticky, fluid there. Just imagine what it means, okay? Use your imagination. Guys, think about it. Because I'm not going to say it outright, but I want you to understand what I'm talking about and think hardly about what we're dealing with here, okay? The finger, one finger, red, virgin. He's fingering a little girl, dude. That's what it is. He's fingering a little fucking girl, dude. It's sick, dude!
What did that have to do with him being black? The point he just made was that he does this purely because Patrice Wilson is black. And then shows a clip of Ethan being like, look, he's mimicking fingering a little girl. I think there are definitely instances where Ethan says, like, this big black man is raping these little girls. He says some crazy shit like that, which, again, is crass and over the line and probably shouldn't be a joke that you make. But at the time in the internet when, I guess this even predates this, but, like, where Leafy was literally telling people just straight up to kill themselves, like, just straight up, like, I don't know, it's about the times and where are we now? Pulling up these old videos are kind of weak for your content poop beginning.
Well, what happened? Patrice is unhappy. Watch out. Some kid's lives are about to change forever. Patrice was like, that's that look when a couple kids' lives is about to change forever, for the worse. He's like, hang on, dog, what the fuck's going on in this house? Let me peek in that window. Look at this image. I mean, this image is pretty twisted up in itself. She's holding what looks like a phallic object, a little 8-year-old girl, and a big, giant black man looking in on her, man. It's like Blackzilla. This guy's got a weird fantasy, dude. Blackzilla rapes the little 8-year-old white girl with blonde hair. He likes it. He likes him white and blonde.
He should have had this clip first. I don't know why he put the other clip first. This one is about Patrice being black, but okay. And again, like I said, crass, too far. But again, he's also making a reference to an actual porn star and saying it because he's this, in the screen, an oversized man looking into a dollhouse. So, like, there is a reason that he's saying it. It's not just because he's a black guy, but again, okay.
Not to be clear,
wouldn't disagree that the joke's a little far. Yeah.
Wilson, not a perfect person. You know, he made basically bizarre music videos for kids that seemed designed to be absurd and stupid and turn them into memes. And he did, on one occasion, make a video that was actually clearly inappropriate, but Ethan and Hila never reacted to that video. In fact, the videos that they reacted to where they branded Patrice as a pedophile and literally incited their audience to call the FBI on him were not sexual at all, not in the slightest. Ethan himself is the only one who inserted pedophilic themes into them. He is the one who sexualized the children in those videos, not Patrice. Ethan Klein's malicious and disgusting defamation campaign against Patrice Wilson almost drove Patrice to suicide, and Patrice ended up quitting the music industry as a result of this. For a detailed account of what Ethan and Hila did to him, check out the video by Paige Christie on the matter. Just like Ethan and Hila never apologized to the 17-year-old victim of the Boston bombing who they sexually harassed, they also have never apologized to Patrice Wilson or expressed any remorse for what they did. On top of that, Ethan is also, like, out of the blue.
I would find both of those hard to believe. I don't know if I could find the clips of them doing it specifically, but I'm sure if, like, literally if someone just asked them, they'd be like, yeah, I shouldn't have made those jokes. There's a reason they took the videos down to begin with, right?
Accuse other people of sexual misconduct, like with Hassan Piker, which he brought up once and then never elaborated on.
He looks like someone at a Big Lebowski party, you know, where he...
Jackie Treehorn?
Yeah, he looks like he's at a Jackie Treehorn party. You know, fucking drunk women. Which surprisingly doesn't seem too far off from what he actually does do. Or has done, at least.
This is basically just a pattern for him. Ethan seems to love accusing people of committing sex crimes, especially...
Again, bad joke, didn't land, but I think that comes from him calling him a frat bro. Again, is Ethan the best at jokes? Not always. It happens.
Sex crimes against children. He did it to me and he's done it to a bunch of other people. And this is just fucking bizarre of him to do because there is clear evidence of him on video expressing his own sexual feelings towards children, which, you know, maybe it was a funny joke or whatever back then, and I would question whether something like this should ever have been considered to be a joke. But the point that I'm making here is that there is clear video evidence of him expressing the feelings towards children that he keeps accusing others of having. You know, as far as I'm aware, the only time that Ethan Klein has ever been mentioned in the New York Times, it was to talk about the fact that he went into like a VR chat room meant for kids, or at least mostly populated by kids, and was intentionally sexual around them, to the point that one of the kids literally called him a groomer.
Well, I'm 39. Who am I to talk? I'm an adult.
This literally isn't what happened. Do I need to pull up the clip? Because I'm pretty sure Ethan went away from the kid. He was sexually harassing like a mod or something.
This is not break time. Go. You're grooming.
Where does he get off making these?
Yeah, and do you think the crew's laughing because they genuinely think Ethan's a groomer and someone's calling him out? Is that the reason the crew's laughing, or just because it's a hilarious random thing that this kid just blurted out? You're a groomer.
Sorts of accusations against people, man. It's fucking crazy. By the standards that Ethan uses himself to accuse others of being pedophiles or child sex criminals or just normal sex criminals, which is literally zero evidence, nothing, then he himself could be branded one a million times over, given the amount of actual video evidence that there is of him expressing sexual feelings towards children. So it really can't be emphasized enough.
Again, you haven't even showed any... What? You literally haven't showed any instance of that. Show an actual, like... Is he just going to move on? Because this clip's about to end. Yeah, so this, like, section's about to end.
First ever interaction with me, his first ever response to me was literally...
Those clips did not show in any way Ethan's own sexual proclivities to towards what? The one clip is him in a chat room and a kid going, "You're a groomer," but you didn't show the instance of him actually doing any kind of grooming.
Defamation of the most malicious and disgusting kind. He literally accused me of being sexually attracted to fucking babies. To babies. This guy accused me of that.
Because there is a tweet with your name that was in a annexure that was sent to lawyers that were representing you that then dropped you. So I don't know if it's a real tweet or not, but the lawyers seem to think it was a real tweet. There was the list of annexures I just showed that Drew Pavlov sent in response to a defamation lawsuit that BadEmpanada had levied against him. And Drew Pavlov said, no, Mr. Empanada, you do not have any reputation to defame. And presented the annexures of over probably a couple hundred Twitter posts and Discord messages and so a lot of stuff. So yeah. Just saying, again, could it all be disproven? Hand wave it away. Perfect.
Based on a fake screenshot that he didn't spend even 2 seconds fact check. He holds up to the screen and he says, "This is a real tweet." This guy.
Fucking that fat, juicy, juvenile vagina. Nigga wants to fuck that shit, boy. Yeah.
I think I have more than enough right to be incredibly...
I remember I accidentally showed Ethan saying the N-word. There's a lot more clips of that than you would expect. But at least one. Okay, so he showed one clip of Ethan saying something that's obviously meant to be an extreme joke.
He didn't spend even 2 seconds fact check. He holds up to the screen and he says, "This is a real tweet." This guy.
Fucking that fat...
Oh, and it's literally in the Boston bombing video too. So it's again, it's the fucking
juicy, juvenile vagina.
Okay, I'm gonna skip the part where he says the N-word just so I don't have to have him say it again on screen.
Shit, boy.
I know it's gonna happen. There we go.
I think I have more than enough right to be incredibly angry at this person. So keep this in mind here. Ethan Klein is someone who has been accusing people for at least a decade now, based on no evidence of being child sex criminals and or sex criminals. When he whines about defamation or people supposedly lying about him and how he's a poor little victim, remember that first and foremost. He has never pulled any punches on defaming others in the absolute worst, most malicious...
Why do these YouTubers keep doing this? Just say what you're gonna say and don't put up these weird things that aren't... If you want us to know this point, fucking read it to us. Don't just be like, here's a part on screen that like... I'm so confused. What?
Remember that first and foremost. He has never pulled any punches on defaming others in the absolute...
Ethan Klein is a habitual defamer of the worst kind, and he has been since the very beginning, including in his supposedly classic content. He constantly accuses others of being pedophiles and of literal child sex crimes, as well as just regular... Again, these are all jokes and not actual accusations levied against anyone. Are they bad, poor jokes? Yes, but to say that it is the same thing is a little weird. As well as regular sex crimes. In my case, he accused me of wanting to rape babies because of a tweet with my Twitter handle that I just said was fake. I didn't say how it was fake, I just said that it was, so believe me. He does this based on no evidence, just because he doesn't like them, or even just for content, to an audience of millions, even though the videos you showed literally had only a couple thousand views, those early ones. But okay. For him to whine about lies and defamation against him when no one has said anything about him from even a fraction as vile as the defamation that he has levied against me and dozens of others, then sue him. He's defaming you. BadEmpanada, sue him. George Giantis. Sue him. As the defamation that he has levied against me and dozens of others is fucking comical. He is the most pathetic cyberbully ever to exist, and it is incredibly embarrassing that many have uncritically accepted his self-victimization narrative given all of this. Given all of what?
Worst, most malicious ways possible. No one has said anything about him that is even remotely as disgustingly false and defamatory as what he has said about literally dozens of other people made up out of thin fucking air. And this is something that Ethan always leaves out of his narratives regarding the people who he attacks. He always lies by omission. He never brings this stuff up. Every single video that I have made responding to Ethan Klein has been me either refuting his claims regarding politics and real-world events, or responding to malicious defamation that he has put out into the world against me. And he tries to make it out like I'm like this international criminal mastermind who is like leading some sort of cabal against him or something, which is just... I mean, the guy's not right in the head.
Because I know if he ever left Argentina, which is where the Nazis took cover, I think he would be arrested if he ever set foot in America. Like, this guy is actually a psychopath.
Ethan Klein engaging in defamation by claiming that I am a wanted criminal and hiding from charges in the U.S.? This was weeks before the CPS call that he uses to justify everything. So, let's hear him again. Let's hear him out.
Which is where
some sort of cabal against him or something, which is just... I mean, the guy's not right in the head.
Because I know if he ever left Argentina, which is where the Nazis took cover, I think he would be arrested if he ever set foot in America. Like, this guy is actually a psychopath, a wanted... I know there's people lined up to get to this guy.
All of this, to be clear, because he can't refute...
This guy is actually a psychopath, a wanted... I know there's people lined up to get to this guy.
Well, he didn't say you're a wanted criminal. He said you might be arrested, but...
Which is just... I mean, the guy's not right in the head.
Because I know if he ever left Argentina, which is where the Nazis took cover, I think he would be arrested if he ever set foot in America. Like, this guy is actually a psychopath, a wanted... I know there's people lined up to get to this guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, arrested on what terms, I guess, but there's claims out there. There are claims out there. Yeah, go to the U.S. He's fucking he's defaming you. Go fucking show his ass in court.
All of this, to be clear, because he can't refute my videos about him.
Ethan Klein is a terrorist by Ethan Klein's own standards and his own admission.
The first video that I made about him was in response to a disgusting campaign that he was raging against a Yemeni teenager named Rashid Al-Haddad. Al-Haddad is a Yemeni influencer who uploaded a TikTok of himself visiting the captured Galaxy leadership.
He was just visiting. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. He was just visiting it. He was on a fucking school field trip.
Rashid Al-Haddad. Al-Haddad is a Yemeni influencer who uploaded a TikTok of himself visiting the captured Galaxy leadership in Yemen. This is something that any tourist could do in Yemen. You paid a fee and you could go and visit the ship. Based on...
Oh my god. Cool. Yep.
The captured Galaxy leadership in Yemen. This is something...
Give tours for $1 on cargo vessels they seized in the southern Red Sea in November. So, you're at least associated with the Houthis and their pirate activities then, and paying them. So, I mean, it's just like, cool. That's true. Cool. I overreacted. They are actually selling trips onto the ships they pirated. That's fucking insane too.
That any tourist could do in Yemen. You paid a fee and you could go and visit the ship. Based on this TikTok, and again, the fact that this guy talked to Hassan Piker, it all comes back to Hassan Piker. Ethan has this really weird obsession with Hassan Piker. He will defame literally anyone if they have any sort of perceived link to Hassan Piker. So because of that, Ethan started defaming Rashid as a terrorist. You know, making that sort of allegation against an Arabic man living in the Middle East is something that could
show us the defamatory claims. Come on.
Very realistically get him killed. So that's a pretty serious allegation to be making based on nothing more than a video where the guy went on a tourist trip to a captured cargo ship. And Ethan, based on nothing more than like a gut feeling that he had, kept trying to accuse this guy of being a terrorist.
Okay, show us the clips where it shows what he's exactly saying.
This Houthi pirate. I mean, who are you kidding? This guy's a fucking terrorist.
He accused him of being a...
You literally, oh my god, you can't just fucking leave out any type of like context and just be like, see, you called him a terrorist. This is fucking garbage.
Member of the Houthi organization who call themselves Ansar Allah, something which Rashid could not be because he is a Sunni Muslim, not a Shia, so that's nonsensical, and kept trying to
Yeah, no. Him dancing with the fucking, him dancing with the captain and all that, that was because he paid $1. He paid that $1 and they were like, hey, you want to come play with our fucking monkeys over here? Like, that's what they did. They were like, our dancing monkeys, come have a quick little dance with them. Like... I mean, as if that's fucking better or something. I mean, but okay. Lonerbox had 2 translators during his reaction, and the guy going on Noah's stream, and the translator said was framing things he said differently than what was translating for him. Cool. So he was literally just puff piecing it.
Asked at straws to say that he was a terrorist because there was a picture of him holding a gun, I guess, and he went on a tourist trip to trying to grasp at straws to say that he was a terrorist because there was a...
I don't think it's just this. There's also all the times when he's like, what we're going to do to Zionists with the dude on the pike, and like, didn't he talk about gutting someone or something? Wasn't that literally one of his tweets? I'm asking that that's inquisitory. I don't actually know. Not defamation.
A picture of him holding a gun, I guess, and he went on a tourist trip to a captured ship, and he, who doesn't speak English, by the way, once left a comment on Instagram saying, I am a soldier.
I just don't understand this part. Is there no translation? This is like the most simple fucking sentence. See original. Was this... What? Yes. Are you a soldier? Yes. Did he just fucking miss... What? He didn't understand. He's just replying to random comments that he doesn't fucking understand at all.
A soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive.
Like, how is this evidence that he's a terrorist, Ethan? What terrorist...
Oh my god!
First attack has he participated in? It's just all of these inferences based on next to nothing. So my first video regarding Ethan Klein was responding to this. Ethan Klein maliciously defaming someone who he sees as below him, who he sees as unable to fight back. A poor Yemeni guy who grew up during the Saudi-American genocide on his country, being attacked by Ethan for nothing more than the fact that he talked to Hassan Piker once, being branded a literal terrorist. So I responded to that. Because Ethan's wife, Hila, who is not just his wife, but also his collaborator in the H3 podcast and previously in the H3 Productions YouTube channel that made them famous in the first place, you know, she's the one who was holding the camera in that sexual harassment video. So I made a video using Ethan's own logic to argue that she herself was a terrorist, which, to be clear, there is way more evidence of than there is any sort of evidence of Rashid being a terrorist. But first, my reason for making this video was not to shit on Ethan and Hila Klein. I do not give a shit about Ethan and Hila Klein as people. That's why I totally ignored them until they started spreading genocidal Zionist propaganda during the Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people of Gaza. That's why the only time I had ever met...
Sorry, I'm gonna rewind this really quick. Because what? I mean, isn't the Saudi American or whatever you just said, isn't that what brought rise to the Houthis? Because the old governmental structure was like basically overthrown or whatever, something along those lines. I don't know too much about Yemen, but I know it's something like that.
That she herself was a terrorist, which, to be clear, there is way more evidence of than there is any sort of evidence of Rashid being a terrorist. But first, my reason for making this video was not to shit on Ethan and Hila Klein. I do not give a shit about Ethan and Hila Klein as people. That's why I totally ignored them until they started spreading genocidal Zionist propaganda during the Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people of Gaza. That's why the only time I had ever mentioned Ethan or Hila Klein on either of my channels before this was actually to agree with them. Ironically, when they were branding the YouTuber Vorsh as a pedophile, at the time I didn't know about Ethan Klein's own history with pedophilic video content. The point of this video was to, well, make a simple point about how easily people like Ethan and Hila Klein brand...
And again, that first section was him talking about one video, basically. One video, and then him making fun, in poor taste, Patrice Wilson. I almost always say Patrice O'Neal, and like on accident, and I've been trying so hard to make sure I get it right. But literally 2 videos, and it's the long-standing evidence of him making sexual claims about children. Fucking crazy.
Arabs as terrorists or other people who they see as easy targets or the demonized subjects of Western imperialism, when they themselves have skeletons in their closet that provide us with much better evidence that one of them could be considered a terrorist by the very definition that Ethan himself has been using, which, to be clear, is this.
It's a funny thing about me. I don't like terrorism, and I don't like terrorists. If they're Jews, Christians, Muslims, they're all bad. What is terrorism? It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals. I don't like it. None of it.
Okay, I'm happy to use that definition of terrorism. So in that video, I argued, using Ethan's own standards that he was applying to Rashid, that there is way more evidence that Hila Klein is a terrorist based on her service in the genocidal Israeli military. A group, by the way, that Ethan Klein himself acknowledges is a terrorist organization.
But I'll say, yeah, Israel, the IDF is terrorist. Yes, the IDF is terrorism.
Ethan and Hila tried to excuse Hila Klein.
Showing it in a debate where he's literally just seceding the point to move on in the argument. Like, it's like he just fucking has no brain. Every clip that he shows is literally, like, talk about clip chimping. This is literally, each clip is no more than like a couple seconds. This is insane.
It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals. I don't like it. None of it.
Okay, I'm happy to use that definition of terrorism. So in that video, I argued, using Ethan's own standards that he was applying to Rashid, that there is way more evidence that Hila Klein is a terrorist based on her service in the genocidal Israeli military. A group, by the way, that Ethan Klein himself acknowledges is a terrorist organization.
But I'll say, yeah, Israel, the IDF is terrorist. Yes, the IDF is terrorism.
Ethan and Hila tried to excuse Hila Klein's membership in this organization, usually with 2 arguments. One is that Israel has conscription, so she cannot be blamed for it, but this is a red herring, as you're going to see in the video clip that I'm about to play, because Hila actually started out with a role in the IDF that was very far away from the action, very disconnected from it. But she found it boring, so she volunteered for a post that was closer to the action, and then she was transferred to the illegally occupied West Bank. And she herself says that if she had been transferred to a place that she did not like, she would have found a way out of the IDF. That implies 2 things. She liked this new post, terrorizing people in the occupied West Bank, which is why she didn't try to leave, and 2, that it's actually a lot easier to get out of the Israeli military than...
Sorry. Let me run back again because I'm reading chat for a sec, but he's just kind of rambling.
In the video clip that I'm about to play, because Hila actually started out with a role in the IDF that was very far away from the action, very disconnected from it. But she found it boring, so she volunteered for a post that was closer to the action, and then she was transferred to the illegally occupied West Bank. And she herself says that if she had been transferred to a place that she did not like, she would have found a way out of the IDF. That implies 2 things. She liked this new post, terrorizing people in the occupied West Bank, which is why she didn't try to leave, and 2, that it's actually a lot easier to get out of the Israeli military than they're letting on, because she said herself in that interview that she could have gotten out if she wanted.
So my job was to, like, when they send officers or like people to go serve, I had to like logistically help with like their hotel or a room, things like that. But it was all on the computer. It just felt like some computer thing.
Right, okay. So secretary.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was super boring and I really hated it because it was just like I had to take a bus super early, go there, spend the whole day, go back home. I hated it. So I tried to change my role. And it was something like you can apply for it and it's a form that you fill out and then they're going to give you something else completely random.
Different
you have no
position,
idea.
different post,
yeah,
different location.
So I decided to do that. And if I don't like the second one, then I'll just find a way to get out of the army.
It was not bad.
Yeah, I hated everything about it. Didn't want to do it. Because if you're doing something that it felt like I wasn't doing anything, I was just wasting my life.
Yeah.
It could get really frustrating. I don't know.
Right.
And you got to do it for 2 years.
So this is the first clip he's showing, and he's cutting it up.
Right.
So I filled out that form and I tried it, and then I somehow ended up in a better place that I liked a lot more.
Ethan and Hila, paradoxically, despite the fact that Ethan himself has branded the IDF as a terrorist organization, clearly don't actually think that it's wrong to be a member of the IDF and to participate in the genocide against Palestinians.
I mean, it's a very selfish...
What was the point of showing this clip? I'm kind of confused. So she moved from a secretary position to a position that she didn't hate as much, but she was also like an 18-year-old.
To decide, okay, I'm not going to do it, but everybody else will.
Like Israel as a place, the mentality of growing up there, like everybody feels an obligation to protect, to serve, to nurture this place that feels like the only place in the world where they can live and be Jewish and not be like discriminated.
I mean, when you're growing up with constant terror attacks, the army is a necessity.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if people think that's a controversial statement. That is the reality of Israel. And so for one person to decide, I'm not going to do it, is a very selfish decision because meanwhile you're not doing it, everybody else is doing it and putting their life on hold.
So it doesn't make any sense for her to be like, oh, but I didn't join of my own free will. I was conscripted. I didn't have a choice in that. When you aren't even against the IDF and what it does. The reason...
Neither of those clips even show that at all. Neither of those clips show support for the IDF. They show support for the Israeli people that are being put into, like, oh my God, they're being forced into military service. Like, it's literally showing, like, a sense of camaraderie, being like, let's, if we're going to do this, let's do this together. If you have to, then I will bear the weight with you. Is it the best thing in certain instances? Probably not. But it doesn't mean it's then the worst.
Why Gila didn't want to join the IDF and had to be conscripted is just because it's not the path that she wanted.
Yeah. Also, where's the source she was in any long-term combat role in the West Bank? That's what he's implying. The answer is because it doesn't exist. Yeah, no, it's I mean, literally the only thing that they have is she was doing this and then got moved to something that she said she liked more. And I'd like to pull up the original. Maybe I'll pull up the original on the side and look for it real quick.
In life. Not that she disagrees with the organization and its terrorist actions. Terrorist because her husband himself said they are terrorists, by the way. So to seek moral absolution on the basis that you were conscripted, when you fundamentally agree with everything that the army that conscripted you does, when you fundamentally agree with the existence and purpose of the terrorist organization that conscripted you, is very disingenuous. Anyway, Gila Klein recounts she was forced to join, she got a post far from the action, she didn't like it, so she asked for a transfer. She was transferred to the occupied West Bank, which she had a lot more fun with. For her, it was like an adventure to terrorize Palestinians, I guess. And she volunteered to go on an illegal raid designed to terrorize Palestinians. And as a bonus, Ethan Klein also calls Ramallah, the Palestinian city of Ramallah, a terrorist city, and he calls the people who were kidnapped on this RDF raid, this raid by a group that he himself says is a terrorist group. So yeah, check it out.
I somehow ended up in a better place that I liked a lot more. Before it was a daily thing where you go back home every day, and the new one was in a way that was a base that was far from my house. So you go there for the whole week, and then you come back for the weekend.
So you preferred that? Were you gone for a whole week?
I did.
Interesting. Why?
It was kind of like just more of an adventure, more of a different experience that I preferred than to just go to a boring job, sit on the computer and go back home at the end of every day. I don't know.
Were you doing secretary work there?
So yeah, I was the secretary of the head of the...
Yeah, I do remember this. This was what I was about to pull up. Yeah, she was a secretary for one of the fucking whatever general some shit.
There's I don't know the terms in English from the army.
Right. She was a
translate. So I was in Dukhifat, which is like a brigade, I guess, that's in charge of the area of Ramallah. And that brigade has a main officer. So I was his secretary.
Okay, so you were right below the big boy. Cool.
So it was nice. It was interesting. It was more demanding in a way, but also kind of more rewarding because you're put in this weird situation where you're away from your house. You have this new group of people that you have to get along with. And it's hard to explain, but for some reason it was more interesting. I enjoyed it more.
You told me once you went on a mission with them to a terrorist city.
Yeah.
That was kind of a crazy story.
Yeah, so my officers and the soldiers in that brigade, they would go every night on a raid in Ramallah to arrest terrorists. And so I always saw them preparing for it and leaving, and then I would stay in the base. So one time I wanted to go with them just to experience it.
Why, you just were all of a sudden had an urge to go with them?
I just wanted to see what it's like. I wanted to see it.
Okay.
So they took me with them one night even though they weren't supposed to.
Did they armor your ass up?
You're driving in this jeep that's bulletproof.
Right.
So I was in the jeep, and then as soon as we entered Ramallah, the people in the city started shooting us.
Wow.
And I heard a bullet hit the jeep right next to my head.
Did it dent or just
no,
hear
you
it?
just hear it.
It's a gnarly armored jeep. Okay.
I mean, it was just interesting.
They were shooting. So someone actually was shooting the car when you went in there right away.
Yeah.
Huh. Did you have a gun on you?
I didn't.
You were not supposed to leave.
No, yeah, not really. But even if I walked with them to one house.
Okay.
I did get out of the car once, but surrounded with them. So.
Okay. Did they arrest anyone that night?
They did.
Did they bring it in the same car with you?
No.
Oh.
There's a few cars going.
Damn, that's crazy. Was it how did you feel? Was it horrifying?
It was strange. Very, very weird.
How so?
I don't know. Just you see people in the house, and then it's the soldiers just walk into the house and look through their shit and find guns, and the whole thing is really surreal.
So there is clearly way more evidence that Gila Klein is a terrorist than there is that Rashid Al.
So she literally at least he showed the full context. I was wondering if he was going to show the full context where they literally explained that they did find guns. So it was at least in some way a legitimate raid. But he doesn't include the later part where literally a few seconds later, I guess I could pull that up. I don't know why I just closed it. I could show that part. Ethan basically explains that it then makes sense for the Palestinians to look poorly on the Israelis.
But I will say, it's more complicated than the people who just hate Israel for everything they stand for. Give credit to.
That's my main point.
All right, that was not the part that I was trying to show. Fuck. God damn it! I thought that was it. Every night. Every night.
Or does it feel like, oh, this is scary?
No, I don't know exactly how that was.
Does it feel like a normal neighborhood? Or does it feel like, oh, this is scary?
No, it actually looked like a nice city.
That's strange. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
from their perspective, well, it's so complicated.
Yeah.
From their perspective, it's like, fuck these guys.
But they go specifically to people who they know are terrorists
Mhm.
and they have a history of that stuff and they know they have guns.
Right. Even if
Like-
that's true, it's hard if you're that guy's neighbor not to be like, I hate
Yeah.
these fucks.
hmm
And I'm scared of them coming to my house someday, even though I'm not a terrorist.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility. Whew, that shit's heavy.
So again, just a bit more of like a nuanced take on it, where it's like, yeah, there's a level to it where she's saying that the things she saw weren't as poorly done. I'm sure she, and again, who knows? I'm sure she wouldn't be like, yeah, and then they fucking kicked a guy in the head. Like, if she saw that, like, obviously you probably wouldn't say that, but regardless, the clip itself, I don't think holds too much water. She went on an individual raid.
Al-Haddad is a terrorist. We have a direct confession of Hila Klein.
Or I guess an individual raid campaign, because she said that they maybe did multiple houses, maybe.
Admitting to her membership in a terrorist organization by Ethan's own standards, and vividly describing how she participated in a terrorist attack. There is nothing of the sort for Rashid. Ethan and Hila often try to excuse her by saying that she was just a secretary. But what if Rashid was a secretary in the Houthis? Would they then say that he wasn't a terrorist? Obviously, terrorist groups need secretaries, they need logistical employees, they need people to help out with that side of the operation. Obviously, they wouldn't give him a pass on that.
Yeah, that's true, too. The fact that she mentioned a bullet hit the car seems like she wouldn't be used to armed conflict. Yeah. Because, yeah, and if you're constantly getting bullets shot at you, it wouldn't make sense to, point out an instance of an individual one. Like, yeah, we get shot at.
So why the hell should we give Hila a pass? Do you think Ethan and Hila Klein would say that an ISIS member was not a terrorist if they were conscripted? Do you think they would say that a Houthi member was not a terrorist if they were conscripted? Obviously they wouldn't, yet they try to make special exceptions purely for the IDF and Hila.
No. I don't think you understand, like, you hold individuals accountable for the actions that they committed. You don't just go like, yep, blanket statement. All Houthi members are terrorists. They're all, I mean, they can all be considered terrorists. It's a terrorist organization. But you can think that an individual might be doing what they think is best for their people. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay that in what they're doing. In the same way that, there weren't, and this was one of the things I don't know if he's about to bring it up or what, or if he already did show it. There was one article that I clicked on when I was looking at this. Because I think this is like an example he's trying to bring, is that this 97-year-old Nazi secretary was arrested was found guilty of being complicit to 10,500 murders. But it wasn't just because she was a secretary. It's because they literally went... they concluded that the view she had from her window, her walk to and from the office, along with orders she was instructed to process on her typewriter and via telephone, were enough for her to have had sufficient insight into and have therefore actively participated in what was going on in the camp. It's like you have to bring up. It's the not everybody reaches the same level of culpability. Like, that's not how that works.
These people have no beliefs, they have no standards. It's whatever they think will get them out of trouble. That's what they will believe in the moment. They never consistently apply anything to anything. The actual fact is that Hila Klein, due to her self-admitted role serving as a secretary under the regional commander, directly responsible for terrorizing the Palestinian city of Ramallah in the illegally occupied West Bank, probably bore significantly more direct responsibility for the terrorist operations in the area than a random soldier did. Secretaries, to be clear, have been prosecuted for their role in crimes against humanity. There is no special exception for you just because you're just a secretary. And in many cases, what you're doing is far more crucial.
Oh, I didn't even show this part too. This is the funniest fucking part. He's showing this as an example of, like, see, they tried her. Handed a 2-year suspended sentence for 10,000 people imprisoned and died. It was like 20,000 people. Yeah, what is it? An estimated 63,000 to 65,000 people were starved and free. Were left to starve and freeze in an open prison. About 228,000 of them were Jewish. But yeah.
crucial to the operation than what many, if not most, soldiers do. So being just a secretary is no excuse. But aside from that, she wasn't just a secretary. There are photos of Gila Klein with a beret of the Israeli Kafir Brigade, which is one of the most notorious Israeli army formations, largely dedicated to occupying the Palestinian West Bank. In order for soldiers to earn the spotted beret that Gila Klein clearly had, they must complete 8 months of combat training, including of the Israeli Kafir Brigade, which is one of the most notorious she wasn't just a secretary. There are photos of Gila Klein with a beret of the Israeli Kafir Brigade, which is one of the most notorious Israeli army formations, largely dedicated to occupying the Palestinian West Bank. In order for soldiers to earn the spotted beret that Gila Klein clearly had, they must complete 8 months of combat training, including advanced training in urban warfare, advanced weaponry, fighting from armored personnel carriers, chemical warfare, and other challenges of today's battlefield. So Gila's role as a secretary already clearly qualifies her as a terrorist by Ethan's own standards. But she was also not just a secretary. She was a combatant, trained in combat, occupying land that does not belong to her country, that she has no right to be in, and going on raids for what she
Can he like show us what it looks like? He showed us this. To wear their camo beret and red-brown combat boots. Complete 8 months of combat. Must complete 8 months of combat training.
Advanced weaponry beret that heals Israeli army formations, largely dedicated to occupying the Palestinian West Bank. In order for soldiers who earn the spotted beret that Gila Klein clearly had, they must complete 8 months of combat training, including advanced training in urban warfare, advanced weaponry, fighting from armored personnel carriers, chemical warfare, and other challenges of today's battlefield. So Gila's role as a secretary already clearly qualifies her as a terrorist by Ethan's own standards. But she was also not just a secretary. She was a combatant, trained in combat, occupying land that does not belong to her country, that she has no right to be in, and going on raids for what she described as to have an adventure. Compared to the standard of evidence that Ethan Klein used to brand Rashid al-Haddad a terrorist,
I'm trying to look up this thing. I want him to fucking show it. Show us what it is. Show it to us on other people. Someone else's head or something.
For soldiers who earn the spotted beret that Gila Klein clearly had, they must
None of these guys, I mean, they're in
complete 8
training
months of
still.
combat training, including advanced training in urban warfare, advanced weaponry, fighting from armored personnel carriers, chemical warfare, and other challenges of today's battlefield. So Gila's role as a secretary already clearly qualifies her as a terrorist by Ethan's own standards. But she was also not just a secretary. She was a combatant, trained in combat, occupying land that does not belong to her country, that she has no right to be in, and going on raids for what she described as to have an adventure. Compared to the standard of evidence that Ethan Klein used to brand Rashid al-Haddad a terrorist, the evidence that Gila Klein is a terrorist is overwhelming. That Ethan is so willing to throw out these allegations against Rashid al-Haddad, yet didn't even do like a second of introspection to think, wait, how could this possibly for soldiers who...
I'm sorry, I just keep going back over this point. I literally can't even make this out. I'm trying to like...
which is one of the most notorious Israeli army formations, like complete 8 months of combat and other challenges of today. Not just a secretary. She was a combatant, trained in combat, occupying land that does not belong to her country, that she has no right to be in, and going on raids for what she described as to have an adventure. Compared to the standard of evidence that Ethan Klein used to brand Rashid al-Haddad a terrorist, the evidence that Gila Klein is a terrorist is overwhelming. That Ethan is so willing to throw out these allegations against Rashid al-Haddad, yet didn't even do like a second of introspection to think, wait, how could this possibly be thrown back at me? Maybe this applies more to Gila than to him. Shows how easy it is for him, and many others like him, to dehumanize people purely on the basis of race. The reason why they had such an easy time throwing this allegation out at Rashid is that he is Arab. It's not based on evidence, it's not based on fact, it's not based on a consistent standard, as I clearly just demonstrated, it's based on race. And that is absolutely fucking disgusting. Ethan has also said that he thinks Israeli West Bank settlers are valid military targets.
On the West Bank, like, these people are, when you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank.
For soldiers who...
Wait.
But aside from that, she wasn't just a secretary. There are photos of Gila Klein with a beret of the Israeli...
I'm so confused.
Israeli Kafir Brigade, which is one of the most notorious Israeli army formations, largely dedicated to occupying the Palestinian West Bank. In order for soldiers who earn the spotted beret that Gila Klein clearly had, they must complete 8 months of combat training, including advanced training in urban warfare, advanced weaponry, fighting from armored personnel carriers, chemical warfare, and other challenges of today's battlefield. So Gila's role as a secretary already clearly qualifies her as a terrorist by Ethan's own standards. But she was also not just a secretary. She was a combatant, trained in combat, occupying land that does not belong to her country, that she has no right to be in, and going on raids for what she described as to have an adventure. Compared to the standard of evidence that Ethan Klein used to brand Rashid al-Haddad a terrorist, the evidence that Gila Klein is a terrorist is overwhelming. That Ethan is so willing to throw out these allegations against Rashid al-Haddad, yet didn't even do like a...
Because what I'm seeing is this. Colors: spotted beret, camouflage, and white striped flag. And that does not look like what she had on. So I'm confused if maybe this isn't what he meant. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Nope, this is it. This is the thing he was just reading. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Does she have this somewhere? Is that what that is? I'm genuinely confused by this part, but okay.
He is Arab. It's not based on evidence, it's not based on fact, it's not based on a consistent standard, as I clearly just demonstrated, it's based on race. And that is absolutely fucking disgusting. Ethan has also said that he thinks Israeli West Bank settlers are valid military targets.
On the West Bank, like, these people are, when you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank right now. And these people are, like, I mean, more or less valid military targets, in my opinion.
So then, what exactly is a secretary in the IDF who occupied said illegally occupied West Bank, who was a member of what Ethan himself said was a terrorist organization, if not a valid target? So Ethan Klein's own wife is, according to his own standards and logic, a terrorist who was a member of a terrorist organization and who was a valid military target. That this guy, married to that person, had the gall to call some random kid a terrorist based on nothing just because he's an Arab on the internet who talked to Hassan Piker is so fucking
someone who is adamant about the, you know, removal of the current Israeli administration and government and, you know, strategies, critiquing somebody who is currently involved in what the Houthis are doing. I don't see those as being parallel, because yes, even if you wanted to say, oh, she was a terrorist in the past by your own definition, okay. I think people can change their ways. People can become better, right?
racist and disgusting. What a piece of shit. That was the message of my first video to Ethan Klein. He never responded to it, at least not directly. He did on 1 or 2 occasions allude to it, and I made more videos refuting him, but there's nothing that Ethan Klein wants less than to expose his audience to my actual arguments, because he knows he can't beat me on the arguments. That's why he engages in these defamatory personal attacks endlessly. Now, I just want to address something specific before moving on, because I know that Ethan...
Why is this a completely different audio, like, sound?
Actual arguments, because he knows he can't beat me on the arguments. That's why he engages in these defamatory personal attacks endlessly. Now, I just want to address something specific before moving on, because...
What did you do to the mic? Did you fucking smack it? What happened?
I know that Ethan Klein's incredibly dumb fans will harp on it endlessly if I don't.
Oh, I bet you his AC kicked on and he fucking threw on the compressor without editing it at all. So it just sounds like shit now.
Ethan Klein, during his debate with Hassan Piker, said that he thinks there's a genocide in Gaza.
Do you believe that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza?
Yes.
Now, this is utter bullshit. He either does not think that, or he thinks that and he supports it. Conceding immediately on that point during that debate was merely a strategy by Ethan Klein to get out of having to argue for a position that he knows is untenable. So he just said that so that he could instead focus on comparatively inconsequential interpersonal garbage. The way that Ethan Klein has conducted himself ever since the beginning of this genocide is certainly not like someone. He either does not think that, or he
that Israel...
If I don't. Ethan Klein, during his debate with Hassan Piker, said that he thinks there's a genocide in Gaza.
Do you believe that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza?
Yes.
Now, this is utter bullshit. He either does not think that, or he thinks that and he supports it. Conceding immediately on that point during that debate was merely a strategy by Ethan Klein to get out of having to argue for a position that he knows is untenable. So he just said that so that he could instead focus on comparatively inconsequential interpersonal garbage. The way that Ethan Klein has conducted himself ever since the beginning of this genocide is...
I feel like his stance has always been the same. And even somebody like Sam Cedar, who fucking was like, you guys, Ethan needs to talk to Sam Cedar. Even he hesitated in calling it a genocide because his whole point was like, yeah, genocide's a legal term. So, like, regardless of if it's a genocide or not, it's still wrong. We can all agree on that. The whole thing is trying to create these conflations to other things is what leads to people disagreeing with you. Because you are just looking to get away with with more vibrato than necessary.
He's certainly not like someone who believes there's a genocide happening and who is against it. Let's imagine that during World War II, there's a guy who claims that they are vehemently pro-Jewish and against the Holocaust. Yet, curiously, all they ever actually do is attack and try to ruin the lives of those who they deem as being too against the Holocaust and the Nazis. They almost never actually talk about what is being done to the Jews themselves, let alone name and blame the state, the people, and the organizations that are doing it. In fact, they actually regularly share Nazi propaganda designed to legitimize the Holocaust, and they instead talked, during the Holocaust, about how Germany gets a bad rap, and it's actually a really beautiful and diverse...
What?
All they ever actually do, there's a guy since the beginning of this genocide, is certainly not like someone who believes there's a genocide happening and who is against it. Let's imagine that during World War II, there's a guy who claims that they are vehemently pro-Jewish and against the Holocaust. Yet, curiously, all they ever actually do is attack and try to ruin the lives of those who they deem as being too against the Holocaust and the Nazis. They almost never actually talk about what is being done to the Jews themselves, let alone name and blame.
Again, I say this every fucking time because these people are so dumb. Germany was like 60-something years old when World War II happened. We didn't dissolve Germany as an entire, like as it stands because of Nazi Germany. We removed the regime and oh my god, and changed the government. So even if you want to make that fucking comparison, it's stupid. It's pointless. It doesn't. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. it's just such a dumb comparison. I hate it. I hate it every time.
The state, the people, and the organizations that are doing it. In fact, they actually regularly share Nazi propaganda designed to legitimize the Holocaust, and they instead talked during the Holocaust about how
the point would be to say all these people just going, just fucking destroy Germany, just destroy Germany, get rid of Germany. Someone going, hey, it's not Germany that's bad, it's the Nazis. It's not Germany that's bad, it's the Nazis. And then somebody else going, you're one of them. You're fucking one of them.
Germany gets a bad rap, and it's actually a really beautiful and diverse nation, and how there's no discrimination against Jews there, and how they hope to get the chance to travel there, during the genocide, and make videos about how awesome Germany is to disprove all the dastardly anti-German propaganda. Again, during the Holocaust. That is Ethan Klein regarding Gaza.
What I want to do is show you guys how...
And again, doing this type of stuff to a Jewish person, it does feel like it is meant to enrage. I'm not even Jewish, and it just pisses me off because it's historically inaccurate. And I'm sorry, I said how old Germany is. Israel's like 70-something years old right now. So it's much older than Germany was when it stood as Nazi Germany. And so if Germany wasn't dissolved, then Israel should not be dissolved. We should figure out a way to remove the bad regime and then bring in a new governance.
Oh, I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hassan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys how beautiful, how multicultural, how free it feels for people, or just it's a beautiful place. It is. It's one of the most diverse places I've ever been.
I've always wanted to go on birthright.
You have to ask some questions here. Like, if Ethan Klein is against rather than for the genocide, why is it that he's against literally every single state or organization that attacks Israel? So Ethan's against the genocide, and yet he can't even critically support anyone who is actually fighting back against the state that is carrying out that genocide.
He himself is against how Israel acts as a government. He has been against it since living in Israel when he voted against Benjamin Netanyahu. So, what?
In fact, it's not just that he doesn't critically support them, he literally talks about them in the most despective terms. They're terrorists, they're evil. They are the evil in the case of Iran.
Whatever you think about Israel, Iran is bad or worse. They are the fucking evil. They are the evil fucking... They're the reason for all this bullshit. Like Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, they're all attacking under the direction of Iran. They're all being these jihadists, fucking Islam.
He apologized for this part? I mean, kind of true.
Islamists.
Let's put this together here. Israel, according to Ethan, is a terrorist organization that is carrying out genocide. Israel is known to have murdered at least 60,000 people.
I will say that the one problem that I have with Islamic extremism specifically is that it is not held to the same it is not held with the same critique in a lot of Muslim communities. Certain Islamic groups will be seen as not like great people or something, but they're like, if they're a Muslim, then I love them and they're a good person or something. Like not a good person, but I am on their side, and they will find grace through Allah. And I find that to be a bit... Maybe it comes because I grew up in a Christian household, in a Catholic household, where I believe in the whole works thing about the things that you do, being a good, acting more than just thinking. But, yeah.
People in Gaza, and that is a gross underestimate, including the number of tens of thousands of children, and even the worst estimates, the worst fantasies against the Iranian government.
Any encouragement of jihad is bad. Any group that is pro-jihad... Mm-mm. And I mean jihad in the sense of not just struggle in general. I'm talking about militarized jihad. It's talking about... And that's what I mean, is when you... I understand that there is a conflation made, but where does the nuance start? When can we have the conversation? I love my Muslim brothers and sisters, but I think we all need to be held accountable.
Do not even remotely arrive at that level of atrocity, at that level of evil. Yet Ethan, nonetheless, cannot bring himself to admit that anyone fighting back against Israel is in the right in that isolated circumstance.
Oh, apologize for saying Israel was beautiful. True. Yeah, that didn't need to be apologized for earlier either, because he was saying that Israel proper, the actual place itself, has multiculturalism and isn't just what you would expect from news organizations and such.
Like if you had someone during World War II who claimed vehemently to be against the Holocaust, but said that the Nazis were the lesser evil compared to the Soviets, you would know that guy was a fucking Nazi. People who were actually against the Holocaust and against the Nazis supported the alliance with the Soviets against them, even if they hated the USSR. So even if Ethan Klein is someone who in normal circumstances would hate the Houthis, would hate Hezbollah, would hate Iran, he would support them in their actions against Israel. But he doesn't. Ethan was actually against the Gaza genocide.
Wait.
Were the lesser evil compared to the Soviets, you would know that guy was a fucking Nazi. People who were actually against the Holocaust and against the Nazis supported the alliance with the Soviets against them, even if they hated the USSR. So even if Ethan Klein is someone who in normal circumstances would hate the Houthis, would hate Hezbollah, would hate Iran, he would support them in their actions against Israel. But he doesn't. Ethan was actually against the Gaza.
So stupid. Because again, you're just conflating historical like things that are not equivocal at all. Like they just do not equate. And regardless, again, he is an individual talking about the culture of, he would be talking about the culture of Germany, not the culture of Nazism. Like that.
As a genocide, what he would be saying is the exact opposite of what he actually said there. Not whatever you think about Israel, Iran is worse, thus you should support Israel against Iran. No, he would be saying whatever you think about Iran, however bad they might be, Israel is a lot worse. So you should support them against Israel in that isolated circumstance. But he never does that because Ethan Klein is...
That doesn't even make any fucking sense. Yeah, that part doesn't make any sense. Yeah, support evil to stop evil, exactly. It's just so dumb.
...is a lot worse. So you should support them against Israel in that isolated circumstance. But he never does that because Ethan Klein is just a pro-Israel, pro-genocide shill. And him saying once, oh yeah, there's a genocide offhandedly, when his actions are very clearly not those of someone who believes there is a genocide going on, doesn't change that one bit. Now, let me show you some instances where Ethan Klein has spread ridiculous genocidal pro-Israel propaganda. This is just a small...
The difference is the reason that most people in the West have more support for Israel is because of the Western influence that we have on Israel. So if we support things that we don't necessarily have so much of a hand in, we don't get any say. And people like to have a bit of a say, and I feel like we can change things from the inside more effectively than we can from the outside. So if Israel is willing to at least have some kind of conversation, then we should start there instead of just being like, well, you're demons.
Selection, there's way more of these. Ethan Klein spread the utterly ridiculous notion that Hamas beheaded 40 babies on October 7th, a genocidal lie concocted by the Israeli state.
No, yeah, and that's also an interesting point too. Yeah, it very much isn't pro-Palestine at all. It's just anti-Israel. He doesn't care what happens after Israel is dissolved and destroyed. He just wants Israel gone.
They found 40 dead fucking babies at this kibbutz where like tons of people got killed. Now, I don't know if they were beheaded, okay? And some people really care about that detail.
Ethan Klein justified Israeli systematic attacks on hospitals in Gaza.
Okay, and some people really care about that detail.
Ethan Klein justified Israeli systematic attacks on hospitals in Gaza on the basis that Palestinian militants forced them to attack.
So this is from Barron's.
The hospitals.
Well, I feel like this is a force that's going to help end the war, not fucking keeping hostages and underground and like continuing to provoke Israel to attack them and putting fucking like military complexes under hospitals. You know, Hamas's design from the beginning is to get as many people killed as possible.
They said that Yoav Gallant, the main operational architect of the Gaza genocide, who is presently wanted by the international...
Because I know it wasn't 40, but is it really just 2? I wouldn't necessarily be surprised because they do hyperbolize a lot of things in early instances of like war things, which is not good. But regardless, it's not like, again, it's like you thinking that him saying this is like him being like, so now Israel needs to go and fucking carpet bomb now. Like, it's just such a weird
criminal court to face trial for crimes against humanity and war crimes, was a really good guy.
Just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had...
They also complain that some people in Israel don't join the military and call them leeches, and explain that the reason... Why doesn't he just say this shit? Were you afraid the video was going to be even longer, dude? Like, oh my god. And explain that the reason they like Yoav Gallant is that he wanted to force those people to join the IDF. What? They also complain that some people in Israel don't join the military and call them leeches, and explain that the reason they like Yoav Gallant is that he wanted to force those people to join the IDF. Classic anti-genocide. This isn't fucking true at all. What? This is just a straight up lie. This is straight up like, what? They literally said the reason that they liked him was because he was the only dissenting voice in the war room of Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah, and not only has this conversation, the situation been discussed to death, he's literally just lying about it.
A disagreement, and that's like so Trump coded.
Well, he was like a moderating voice in the war room.
Yeah.
And he got rid of him, or at least a more moderate voice. I don't know anything about the guy.
DD.
Just recognize his picture. He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No. Well, the big disagreement was that people are fighting for the Orthodox Jews to get drafted as well to the army because they're not.
Motherfuckers, dude.
But Israel.
That's an issue?
Yeah, the Orthodox don't serve.
They don't serve.
Yeah, it's like Amish people too. They don't do that.
But everybody else has to. Everybody has to do it.
Sure.
So it's like, what the fuck?
Dude, the Orthodox are such leeches there.
And Ethan Klein just constantly.
Is that what the fuck is wrong with that? They're literally advocating for the fact that if you are going to have mandatory conscription, then you should have it across the board, or not at all. That would be like the argument. But it's obviously something that stands, and the whole thing was it would be easier to have it be mandatory for everybody than to just be able to get out of it through claiming orthodoxy.
Openly repost Israeli state propaganda.
What the fuck?
And that's why they like
the Orthodox are such leeches there.
And the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is a fake aid organization created by Israel and the United States for the purposes of monopolizing distribution of aid and forcing Palestinians into free specific areas of Gaza, which Israeli politicians have openly described as concentration. You know what these words mean, right? You know what the Holocaust is, don't you? The purpose of doing this is to...
And also, in the clip, did she say leeches?
Drafted as well to the army because they're not.
Motherfuckers, dude.
But Israel.
That's an issue?
Yeah, the Orthodox don't serve.
They don't serve.
Yeah, it's like Amish people too. They don't do that.
But everybody else has to. Everybody has to do it.
Sure.
So it's like, what the fuck?
Dude, the Orthodox are such leeches there.
And Ethan Klein just constantly openly reposts Israeli state propaganda on his Instagram stories. For example, the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, is a fake...
Yeah, it's a crazy caption about them complaining about BS religious exemptions. From my understanding, the Orthodox aren't concessious objectors. Couldn't read that word. Oops. But yeah, I mean, it is just... It's them, again, disagreeing with the current governmental stance. And you can say that it's like in the wrong direction, that you should just be fighting for less conscription. And that's fair too, if that's like the argument you want to make. But again, it's someone that's coming from the perspective of having family members that are having to serve, having, that aren't just claiming orthodoxy.
Fake aid organization created by Israel and the United States for the purposes of monopolizing distribution of aid and forcing Palestinians into free specific areas of Gaza, which Israeli politicians have openly described as concentration. You know what these words mean, right? You know what the Holocaust is, don't you? The purpose of doing this is to force starving people into places where they are easier to control, easier to kill, and easier to eventually deport for the survivors. Every single day, dozens of people are massacred by Israeli troops and by GHF mercenaries at these supposed aid sites. This is something that you would think that someone who is a vehement opponent of genocide would denounce. Has Ethan Klein denounced it? No, actually, Ethan Klein just constantly reposts fucking GHF propaganda.
Can you show me all the time Hassan's talked about it?
Israeli troops and by GHF mercenaries.
And again, I mean, the difference is, even if Hassan has, because it might have, I shouldn't make that joke because I don't know. He probably has. But regardless, Hassan being a political commentator and Ethan being a comedy podcast. So it's like...
at these supposed aid sites. This is something that you would think that someone who is a vehement opponent of genocide would denounce. Has Ethan Klein denounced it? No, actually, Ethan Klein just constantly reposts fucking GHF propaganda on his Instagram story. There are literally countless articles about this in main...
let me see it again, so it's...
survivors. Every single day, dozens of people are massacred by Israeli troops and by GHF mercenaries at these supposed aid sites. This is something that you would think that someone who is a vehement...
14... Oh, and it's a fucking Al Jazeera. I'm not reading any of the Al Jazeera articles because it's fucking just... They're sponsored by Qatar and Qatar funded or whatever.
Opponent of genocide would denounce. Has Ethan Klein denounced it? No, actually, Ethan Klein just constantly reposts fucking GHF propaganda on his Instagram story. There are literally countless articles about this in mainstream Western
there's
media outlets. Not exact.
Okay, AP. There's one AP. I just love that he shows Haaretz and Al Jazeera as his two like Why didn't you add this one? He added all of the other links. Why didn't he add this link? Is that the only one he didn't link?
Dozens of people are massacred by Israeli troops and by GHF mercenaries. Announced it? No, actually, Ethan Klein just constantly reposts fucking GHF propaganda on his Instagram story. There are literally countless articles.
So okay, so he didn't link the Haaretz one
about this in mainstream Western media
Just making
outlets.
sure.
Not exactly anti. Israel propaganda, ascribing clear blame for this to Israel and to the GHF. And Ethan Klein skips all over that to just post statements from the fucking GHF themselves. Verbatim, he just posted. He sees literal Israeli genocide propaganda and he uncritically believes it and spreads it every single fucking time. Ethan Klein has never missed a single opportunity to blame Palestinians for their own genocide. When Israel bombs hospitals, it's their fault. When the GHF and the IDF massacre them at aid sites, it's their fault. They actually did it to themselves. 40 beheaded babies, the most generic, obvious, made-up blood libel propaganda designed to dehumanize people in order to legitimize the genocide against them. Ethan Klein jumps on that immediately.
It is provided by one of the countries. So one thing is that they American contractors regarding aid distribution. Again, honestly, I guess I don't even really care about looking into this stuff. Like, these parts are like, yeah, this stuff probably is happening, and that's why I'm like, this part isn't even necessary to look into, because it's literally just, why isn't Ethan talking about this? But okay. I just find it interesting how often he uses Al Jazeera and
need to see
shit
any
like
evidence
that.
for it. He just hears the Israeli state say so. That's all he needs. This guy is anti-genocide. This guy is, in his own words,
And I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years.
no, this guy fucking hates Palestinians. This guy wants them dead.
Yeah. Netanyahu's on full send. Is he actually? I thought you I was thinking you were meaning he was full sending. That can't you have to be lying, right? Did we all die in 2012? I thought you were joking, saying he's full sending it and going crazy. Like saying you hate the timeline because he's going full send. But he's on the fucking Full Send podcast. I'm my brain.
In Iran, they hang gays by cranes.
Literally skipped a couple of minutes in. Yeah, he wasn't on that podcast. He wasn't going to hold back on that at all. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That is the direction of his content when he talks about the issue. It's always to spread pro-Israel propaganda. Never, ever, ever to denounce what Israel...
Here's the thing, I will say. If Ethan is posting this and those people are doing that, it's bad. He shouldn't post these people. But my question would be if he knows about it, because I also just don't think... I think Ethan knows... I feel like Ethan cares about... he cares about it, obviously, but I think that there's a philosophical angle that he comes at a lot of it with, rather than the historical or factual basis sometimes. And certain things, yeah, but it's just like... I mean, at a certain point, you're just trying what you can. It's like, I don't know. I've come at the BDS list, saying that it's kind of like pointless, but really, I mean, it is true that more activism is good, and it's hard to find
missed a
good
single
activism.
opportunity to blame Palestinians for their own genocide. When Israel bombs hospitals, it's their fault. When the GHF and the IDF massacre them at aid sites, it's their fault. They actually did it to themselves. 40 beheaded babies, the most generic...
I mean, that just isn't...
obvious, made-up blood libel propaganda designed to dehumanize people in order to legitimize the genocide against them. Ethan Klein jumps on that immediately. He doesn't need to see any evidence for it. He just hears the Israeli state say so. That's all he needs. This guy is anti-genocide.
And again, he's jumping from not speaking on it enough to agrees with it happening. which is a conflation and not founded in the things he's showing. And again, the clips he's cutting, at least these are decently cut to seem worse. But the Yoav Gallant one we talked about isn't that bad. I didn't read what the actual stories were, his Instagram stories, so I don't know, but it's not like he's saying it's a good thing that whatever these groups are doing is going in there and harming Palestinians, because there will always be poor, negative actors within organizations and groups, and what you have to hope is that you are just going for the right one that has the least. And we're not always going to be right, so. But again, I don't think Ethan would be vehemently like, no, you're wrong, that's a good thing that happened. And that's kind of the argument that's being made here, which is that, again, that part is completely unfounded.
Genocide. This guy is, in his own words,
And I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years.
no, this guy fucking hates Palestinians. This guy wants them dead. That is the direction of his content when he talks about the issue. It's always to spread pro-Israel propaganda. Never, ever, ever to denounce what Israel is actually doing in Gaza. On the odd occasion that he does mention it, it's to blame Palestinians for it. Now, Ethan Klein is a multi-millionaire, and you would think that someone like him, who is a staunch advocate of the Palestinian people and staunchly anti-genocide, would have done like a fundraiser or something for Gaza, right? Well, he did, but not exactly. The only time that Ethan Klein ever fundraised for Palestinians during this genocide that he claims to acknowledge and oppose was when he invited Ahmed Fouad al-Khatib of the US think tank, the Atlantic Council, onto his stream. The Atlantic Council is a pro-Israel think tank, majority funded by the US government, and the very arms companies whose weapons are presently being used to massacre Palestinian babies in Gaza. On his podcast, Ethan Klein solicited the US think tank, the Atlantic Council, onto his stream. The Atlantic Council is a pro-Israel think tank, majority funded by the US government, and the very...
Well, and to be, again, he works for the Atlantic Council through his specific organization, which is about moderating peace on both sides and coming to a middle ground somewhere. And again, a lot of the reason people don't like him, especially people like BadEmpanada, is because he's for a two-state solution.
Very arms companies whose weapons are presently being used to massacre Palestinian babies in Gaza. On his podcast, Ethan Klein solicited donations that go directly to the Atlantic Council under the title of
And that, again, isn't true either.
Donate to Palestine. Emails to the Atlantic Council confirmed that the money that Ethan's...
Hello, thank you for reaching out and for your question. The donation page on our website goes to support our work through the Atlantic Council. What? Support our work through the Atlantic Council. This includes helping Ahmed and his team, and our team, and to allow him to be able to do many of the media appearances he does, to meet with public makers, and do all the writings and things that helped launch the work for Realign for Palestine. I hope that answers your question. Happy to hop on a call and discuss it, if that would be helpful. And again, even if you want to be like, because this doesn't claim that the Atlantic Council is getting any of the money at all, but even if they were, it's like, there's so many things running through my brain right now because this is just of all the different things that are being said. Sorry, let me go back just 1 second.
Council under the title of Donate to Palestine.
Oh, he wasn't just advocating for his own thing. He was advocating for a food bank. The food bank that was like the one that he kept saying people should go donate to, not his own organization. So
Emails to the Atlantic Council confirmed that the money that Ethan solicited to donate to Palestine actually just went straight to this pro-Israel think tank. The guest who he invited on here, who is the only Palestinian who he has spoken to for the entire genocide.
And also he said straight to, as if it's not. It never said it goes straight to them. It says the donation page on our website goes to support our work through the Atlantic Council. This includes helping Ahmed and our team, and to allow him to be able to do many. It's just like
straight to this pro-Israel think tank. The guest who he invited on here, who is the only Palestinian who he has spoken to for the entire genocide, is an employee of the Atlantic Council.
If he just bogged us down with more of these like articles that I don't have time to read, we'd probably get some. He'd probably get more. It would probably go farther and do a little bit more. But it's the fact that he's hinging on these things that are obviously untrue.
Someone paid by them to spread pro-Israel propaganda, who's absolutely hated and despised by pretty much every Palestinian who even knows who he is, and that's not actually much. because this guy is totally unknown. He was propped up by the Atlantic Council in order to justify the genocide after it began. During his appearance on the H3 podcast, he spent the entire interview denying the genocide and in fact blaming all of this, not on Israel, the perpetrator, but on the Palestinians themselves, while Ethan just nodded along and agreed.
Again, the term that Ethan used that people don't, that Hassan didn't like, is the term inevitability, which is just the truth that these things aren't, it's not good that they happen, but if we continue acting in the way that we, like the way that things are happening, then it will only lead to this reciprocation over and over again, cycle, never ending, until one group is wiped out fully. And if that is what happens, it's going to be the Palestinians, which is terrible. And unless that's what you want, you shouldn't just advocate for this continuous back and forth forever. Because legitimately, like, Israel has one of the best, if not the best, Air Force in the world. It's like, come on.
Staunch advocate for the Palestinian people.
I would never be like, yo, you need to go talk to the Palestinian pro-Israelis because you'll listen to them. Like, I would never do that. That feels dirty.
Yeah, he literally said he has family that was killed, and he was literally deafened in one ear because of a shell that landed near him.
Feels insane thing to say. This is just racism. It's like he's just actually being racist.
And don't even get me started on Hila, okay? Do not even get me started on Hila Klein. She is so much more overt than Ethan is, and Ethan isn't exactly subtle. She just constantly outright shares Israeli state propaganda shared by Israeli state-employed propagandists. She's not exactly subtle about it. And even on the one occasion where Ethan Klein did attempt to acknowledge a limited amount of Israeli atrocities, Hila Klein was there to correct his course and make sure that he didn't go too far in acknowledging reality.
People being burned alive and kids being murdered. You're saying Israel does that on the daily, okay? Now, I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. So are you...
She denies that. Look, what more is there to say? Ethan and Hila both are not anti-genocide. Doesn't matter how many times they say that. Actions...
I would say that it's just more... the whole thing is, it's just more of an immediate thing for Hila. From the... Like, obviously, it's Ethan's wife. His family, his extended family, everything. And... but Hila... Literally, it is her existence that is in question, and so when people say things like that, it is Ethan is trying to move forward in the conversation, whereas Hila feels like it is more of a fight for her own existence, and of course that's going to come across as more abrasive, the same way that you guys support the Houthi kid, but the difference is that Hila would never say that the Houthi kid deserves to die.
Speak louder than meaningless platitudes, meaningless labels you apply to yourself. And their actions indicate the exact opposite. They are pro-genocide. They spread propaganda to legitimize the genocide, to delegitimize anyone who fights back against it, or even just advocates against it on the internet. And if you somehow genuinely believe that he's actually against the genocide, and actually not just an overtly pro-Israel shill, and a knowing propagandist for everything that is happening in Gaza, then you're just a fucking moron and there's no reasoning with you. Which, to be fair, yeah, that's Ethan Klein's target audience. The guy is not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, so it makes a lot of sense that his heroes aren't either. Anyway, so moving on. Ethan, aside from accusing me of being a pedophile in literally our first ever interaction, has also accused me of being wanted and said that there are people lining up to sue me, that just out of frame trust him. Who knows who they are? I don't know. Does anyone?
You don't know? Drew Pavlov. I think he probably wants to maybe countersue you.
This guy is actually a psychopath, a wanted... I know there's people lined up to get to this guy.
I'm guilty of all sorts of crimes. He can't provide any evidence of that. Just trust him on it. And he's also said that he has logs from my Discord, which, by the way, literally anyone can join for $1, not exactly secret, and that these logs are apparently so bad that they're going to get me put into prison.
There's so much, dude, to say about him. It's kind of insane. In fact, BadEmpanada, I didn't get to it in the video, but you're not going to be happy to know this, but people have infiltrated your... He has a Patreon, a Discord for Patreon members. And they all have access to this place where they literally talk about doing psyops, faking posts, brigading, and all this shit. And I have 4 years of all of his chats. There's stuff in there that will put him in prison. I'm not even fucking kidding. Like, he is a straight up... And so going through this, I was trying to figure out what to do with it. And I think the best thing is just to release it to the public. And the amount of creators that he has psyoped in there, that he's participating in brigading, clandestine operations to fucking ruin these people, to just terrorize these people is staggering. I think if I just release it to the public, people will every community should look through that and just...
Trying to make fun of him for a single misspeak on clandestine is kind of okay.
See the fucking depths of evil that this guy is, because this guy's been going on a victory tour since October 7th. He's getting promoted by everybody. He's getting promoted by Denims, from Frogan, from Mike from PA, from Denims. Hassan has been watching him religiously. He's going to be real quiet on these leaks, I'm telling you. So I'm going to make sure those goes up.
Now, despite what Ethan Klein said in that clip, he never actually released those logs. I'm the one who actually released them myself, because there's literally nothing in there. Even if the things that he accused me of in that clip were true, like faking posts,
Interesting that this was made on a Reddit that's been deleted, apparently, a Reddit account. The BadEmpanada files. During his last podcast, Poopy Ethan Klein claimed that he had infiltrated my secret Discord and that he found material there that would get me put into prison. He specifically said that I would go to prison because we use this secret Discord to do clandestine operations and psyops. He said that he was going to release the files before the end of the show and acted like... Did he say that? I mean, to be fair, Ethan says a lot of things that he doesn't hold up to, so... When's our eel pit happening? Released the files before the end of the show and acted like this would be my end. He did not release the files, which greatly disappointed me. In reality, my Discord server is public, and it's mostly just random idiots talking amongst themselves. It costs $1 to join, and anyone can do so. Here is the complete log of every message ever sent on my, again, already public Discord server. Here, I'll look and see what it is, see what he's got.
Gating. It's not a crime to like fake a post or brigade Reddit or whatever it was that he was accusing me of there.
Wait, what? So he's literally just admitting to it too? He's like, so it's not illegal.
There's literally nothing in there. Like even if the things that he accused me of in that clip were true, like faking post, brigade.
Okay, so he's saying even if they were true. Okay, sorry, misheard it.
Gating. It's not a crime to like fake a post or brigade Reddit or whatever it was that he was accusing me of there. So God knows how broken his brain is.
The fuck is this? This is every message, huh? This is like the most fucking ridiculous thing I've ever seen, the way this is formatted. I guess this is just because it's supposed to be a straight log. This is how long it is. Okay. There's just no way to actually, like... tell if these are accurate or not, if these actually are all of them. See, they're thieves! I stole some things for you. Some makeup. Here, I wonder if we could just find... TV series, IMDb embed. Nope. You know nothing about Ethan Klein, huh? Interesting, Ethan. Ethan of H3. I guess let me just look up H3. Oh, it's gonna be a lot of just file names. Yeah. I knew it'd just be a lot of file. I miss the days when I didn't know the reality of capitalism. Watching H3, Chris Raygun, having some cheap laughs, not worrying about anything. Those were fun, carefree times. I miss those days. There's nothing left, is there? Just doom. I don't know. I don't have the time to go through all of his logs. I don't even. And again, we don't have any way to verify if they're actually all of the logs. But whatever, they're out there, I guess.
That he seems to consider those things to be on the level of like criminality. But again, I released these Discord logs myself because Ethan was not releasing them, just to show people that there's literally nothing there. Like my Discord is nothing special. It's a generic creator Discord where people who pay $1 to me for a membership can go and talk about my videos or really whatever the fuck they want. I honestly don't care that much. I look at my Discord like once every 2 or 3 days just to make sure no one's doing anything stupid. And he's trying to frame it as like this nexus of like...
Wait, do you not have any moderators on there? Because that's probably even worse.
A global criminal network to the extent that he's going to get me put into prison simply by releasing the logs to the Discord, which to be clear is something that I myself did immediately after he said this. And Ethan never mentioned this again. He never released the logs himself. He apparently never even talked about them. He kept calling them like the BadEmpanada files, like it was like the Epstein files or something, like something super serious. And just to show you how stupid Ethan Klein is regarding this sort of thing, I was contacted by someone who was trolling him, pretending to be a journalist, who was interested in the nefarious BadEmpanada files. And they sent him complete nothing logs. To be clear, this is what they sent him. And Ethan Klein's response was, keep the screenshots coming. Love seeing them. You love seeing him? What about that exactly did you love seeing? Response was, keep this, and they sent him.
Oh, we get ad revenue. Shitting on Ethan Klein is good money. Thank you, YouTube. You don't do ad segments though, right? Just whatever you get from AdSense. What the fuck even is this?
Complete nothing logs. To be clear, this is what they sent him.
Okay.
And Ethan Klein's response was, keep the screenshots coming. Love seeing them. You love seeing them? Dude, what about that exactly? Did you love seeing?
I also wonder if this it is from Ethan Klein specifically, but I wonder if it was actually him running the email.
Was this the nexus of criminal enterprise?
I know he said he's with family today, but I almost wonder if that isn't true. But I guess it could be Ethan too. He is the type to respond to an email. Let me send him one.
That's coming. Love seeing them. You love seeing them? Dude, what about that exactly? Did you love seeing? Was this the nexus of criminal enterprise that you imagine my Discord being? And this guy told him that he went to a synagogue with the CEO of Discord and that he was going to get the CEO of Discord, who he definitely 100% knew, to get my server removed. And Ethan was very pleased with this revelation. So yeah, I mean...
Show where he was pleased. I told Ethan that I went to the synagogue with the Discord CEO and I will help him get the server removed. He's very pleased. Just show that then. You showed that email. Show the other one.
Ethan's just unwell. He's honestly living in a different reality to people with like half a brain.
It's official. Ethan is buying Creator Clash. Let me throw up the poll. How late do we think we're going to be today? I'm buying Creator Clash. H3 show number 169. But yeah.
He's such a bag of hot air, and it's insane that he tries to claim that others defame him when he does this sort of shit all the time. Not just to me, as I said, to many other people as well. Particularly with the sex crime accusations. Like, this guy throws out sex crime accusations like they're fucking nothing. Just look at his reaction when his producer, Dan, tried to imply that the YouTuber Noah Samson was a rapist in response to Noah Samson making a video that refuted Ethan Klein's claims on Israel-Palestine.
Also, if I was Noah, I wouldn't get into the whole rape denial.
Oh, he straight up is all in it.
Interesting.
History.
Some information to tell you, but after the show.
About the Cody Code?
No, it's nothing. It's nothing that you know about yet. It's interesting how many people come out of the woodwork. Noah.
We'll get to that.
Exes, you know.
So to be clear here, in response to Noah Samson making a video regarding Ethan Klein's views on Israel-Palestine, Ethan Klein went looking for dirt on Noah Samson's personal life. His crew member implied that Noah Samson was a rapist, and then they invited...
That was not the implication at all. What?
Went looking for dirt on Noah Samson's personal life. His crew member implied that Noah Samson was a rapist. And then they invited someone who went out with Noah Samson for a while to come on their show and talk shit about Noah Samson. And it turned out that she wasn't actually accusing him of rape at all.
You are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely. Noah Samson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
This is how Ethan operates.
Well, can you at least show what he was being accused of, which was sleeping with multiple partners without telling them, which could leave you open to transmitting STDs? It's like that part actually would be a crime if you were to accidentally give a girl an STD. Like that would... Come on.
Refute him on the politics, on the issues, and he attacks you personally with pure defamation. And again, I want to emphasize, his entire base of content is purely in reaction to others and attacking others almost all the time. Ethan Klein's content is either like, look at this person, I'm going to say something bad about them.
It already says it's starting half an hour late. God damn it. So I guess think of the question from the perspective of 1230, if that helps.
Or look at this person, I'm going to laugh at their expense. He does not produce original content at all. And now that me and others, as a result of him, to be clear, attacking us personally first, are throwing shit back at him in the same way that he has done to others and profited off to the tune of millions of dollars for decades at this point, well, a decade and a half. He's acting like he's the victim of some sort of smear campaign. He's the victim of defamation. People are maliciously attacking him personally for no valid reason.
Now, trust me, I would pursue legal action against BadEmpanada, whose MO is essentially defamation.
You think I'm kidding? That's a real tweet.
It's not the Empanada one. Dan, not.
Okay, then sue him. Sue him then.
Okay, I just went.
He literally said he wants to sue you, but he can't because you live in Argentina. You're saying you want to sue him too. Sue each other, bro. Get the back and forth going. You're saying his claims are bullshit and yours are fucking rock solid. Sue him.
YouTube, a man raping and eating a minor.
Well, what do you think now, Ela? Is he a pedophile? What do you think?
We need to call the FBI.
You know, fucking drunk women, which surprisingly doesn't seem too far off from what he actually does do, or has done at least.
This guy's entire being has been attacking others. His entire career is built on attacking others, and has been built on actual real defamation.
I will say that the attacking others part is true, but it's not defamation. It's not defamation because I'd say 99.99% of the time, I guess 99%, we won't add that 99. 99% of the time, they're clearly jokes and done to be extreme. And the other 1% is when Dan goes, don't.
Since its very beginning, and he has the goal to act like a victim here. It is an absolute joke.
They're all opinions. It's all opinion-based.
Now, one thing that I want to bring up here that Ethan Klein really doesn't seem to want people to know about is that he had this weird obsession with entertainment executive Ryan Kavanaugh. Now, Ryan Kavanaugh, to be clear, seems like a pretty big piece of shit in his own right. Honestly, him and Ethan deserve each other. But nonetheless, Ethan had a dispute with Ryan Kavanaugh because Ryan Kavanaugh's entertainment company, Triller, filed a copyright claim against one of Ethan Klein's videos for showing a couple of seconds of a pay-per-view that Triller had the rights to. In response to this, Ethan Klein began a really weird and bizarre multi-year-long defamation campaign against Ryan Kavanaugh. Like he would...
Hey, bro, they're best buddies now, so you have no fucking place to talk about this at all. They are the best of buds. They talked about fucking... They sat on the couch and were like rubbing each other's legs or whatever Ethan said or something like that, right?
Literally like put headlines saying bad things about Ryan Kavanaugh behind him in episodes on his podcast, even ones that had nothing to do with Ryan Kavanaugh, and he turned him into like this meme character for his fans to deride. He also made a website called Does Ryan Kavanaugh Look Like Harvey Weinstein, with the explicit intent of, again, defaming yet another person as a sex criminal by implying that he is similar to or attached to Harvey Weinstein, who is a sex...
No. Again, you're fucking... Oh, you're jumping, bro. You're leaping. The leaps and bounds. It is not to say that he is like Harvey Weinstein. It is to say that he has a similar appearance and to draw the distinction so that nobody would make that conflation between the two. Come on, man.
Criminal. Like, I don't understand how his fans found this funny. It's just intentionally malicious. It's just such an overreaction to the initial slight. Like, someone actions you for copyright infringement, and that just gives you license to say literally anything you want about them as often as you want. So often that it really seemed like an obsession. I don't think that is a standard that anyone should abide by or endorse. And even though Ryan Kavanaugh is definitely a Zionist piece of shit, way bigger of a Zionist piece of shit than Ethan Klein is, to be clear, I still don't think that you should just spread lies about him knowingly. What Ethan kept saying about Ryan Kavanaugh was that he carried out a Ponzi scheme. And Ethan Klein was basing this on an article that accused Ryan Kavanaugh of that was later retracted. And Ethan Klein knew that this article was retracted, yet he kept saying it anyway for years upon years. Ethan Klein was then sued by Ryan Kavanaugh for this, and Ethan Klein lost his slap motion, which is a motion that you can file against lawsuits based on the accusation they are simply being filed to silence you by someone who's richer and has more resources than you. So he filed a slap motion against this lawsuit. It was denied. He filed a slap appeal. The appeal was also denied. Then Ethan filed an appeal to the California Supreme Court, which was also denied. Basically, in all of these instances, it was decided that Ryan Kavanaugh's lawsuit against Ethan Klein for defamation had enough merit to continue to trial, and a lot of the facts were analyzed in these phases that make it pretty clear that Ethan Klein probably would have lost that trial. For example, here is the judgment from Ethan Klein's second lost slap appeal. In it, the judge says, Klein used his YouTube channels and other social media platforms to disseminate the defamatory accusation in the Variety article that Kavanaugh ran a Ponzi scheme. Within hours of its publication in Variety, that accusation had been retracted and the article had been corrected. Klein knew of the retraction and correction, but repeatedly republished the false accusation over the following months. The judge then goes on to list all the times that Ethan Klein repeated this defamatory accusation against Kavanaugh on his podcast. And it's genuinely unhinged. Like, it goes on for pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. Klein was totally fucked if this went to trial. It's honestly kind of crazy how much he was obsessed with Ryan.
You know what? It's funny he says that because it kind of reminds me of some other pages and 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 pages of him saying stuff like, yeah, there's a warrant out for my arrest for some shit I didn't even do. Been spending these past few hours talking to my lawyer or talking to a lawyer. Things likely will not go well going to begin wiping my drive just in case I still have shit left over from when I was an edgy teen. The situation feels unreal. You know. Just some pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. But again, yeah, I would say Ethan's joking about Ryan Kavanaugh. He towed that line a little too hard and ended up 1 foot in. And hey, they settled. It is what it is.
Ryan Kavanaugh and defaming Ryan Kavanaugh just because Ryan Kavanaugh was like an executive, like not even probably the person who made the decision to copyright claim his video, just the executive of the company that did that to him. Funnily enough, by the way, Ethan Klein really likes to copyright claim people right now. He's actually suing 3 people for copyright infringement. So I don't even know, like this guy just has no beliefs. He has no internal logic. He basically just does whatever he thinks will get back at people who he doesn't like. He has no standards, nothing. In one instance, he will attack Ryan Kavanaugh for copyright claiming him. And in another instance, he will file ridiculous copyright lawsuits against people.
Oh my God, you're actually just so stupid. Again, it's this idea of everything's the same. Every instance is the same. Everything throughout history is the same. Everything can just be analogous, and you can use everything as an analogy. Ryan Kavanaugh did a copyright claim on Ethan's stream because, or it wasn't even on the stream itself. It was on an individual re-upload that was put on a private. It was a private re-upload of a 10-second clip of the Triller boxing Jake Paul event. That video, they had to pay for the small amount of views that video made. That video was not made for the purpose of repackaging the event. He is suing people whose intended purpose was to repackage and monetize off of the video he made. It's just like, come on. Gray area? Nah. Never. Gray area? Never heard of it.
For reacting to his videos. When, to be clear, Ryan Kavanaugh was not the one who made the decision to copyright claim his video. Ryan Kavanaugh was like the CEO of this company. He's not the one who makes the everyday decisions. So to hold him like personally responsible for that, it's just kind of fucking weird. It's like if one of my videos got taken down by Netflix for including footage of one of their shows, if I was to then wage like a 3-year-long intense campaign where I attacked and defamed the Netflix CEO, just bizarre, honestly. But Ethan Klein did that to Ryan Kavanaugh.
And again, it wasn't just some random thing where, oh, this guy's just the owner of Triller. It was because there was other elements to it. Maybe it did start that way, I won't lie. It might have started that way, but from what I remember, all the stuff with him going after Throst, you know, him in the fucking Shrek, whatever, some fucking random forum, some Shrek forum. And, you know, it's Kavanaugh's deep in the lore.
He was very likely to lose that trial, so he settled with Ryan Kavanaugh in a settlement that he has been trying to frame as some sort of like mutual agreement, rather than, you know, Ryan Kavanaugh, someone who is worth at least hundreds of millions, having him against the ropes and forcing him to give him a very favorable settlement in which Ethan Klein was forced to delete or blur all of his defamation against Ryan Kavanaugh, which, by the way, was literally hundreds of instances.
So with peace and love, we will be removing all mentions of Ryan Kavanaugh from the H3 show.
Thank you, thank you.
After the date of, well, we have, in the next 30 days, we're going to start doing as much as we can. After the date of July the 12th, no more Ryan Kavanaugh clips on the H3 show. Thank you, thank you.
Yes,
with peace and love. This is a serious warning. No disparaging Ryan Kavanaugh.
I'm warning you.
Yeah. But I think we're all very relieved that this is over, and I wish him, and I'm not being forced to say this, I wish him the best.
And certainly,
I didn't know that. The lawyer for Triller said Ryan was behind the lawsuit. There you go.
Pay Ryan Kavanaugh at least a 6-figure sum, possibly even a 7-figure sum, for damages that he caused to his reputation. So Ethan is someone who actually does defame others to the point that he had to agree to a settlement after he exhausted all avenues to avoid a trial in a defamation case against him. And by the way, for the entire duration of this trial, Ethan tried to make it out like he was winning and it wasn't a big deal. He was totally unbothered by it. And then in the end, settlement. He has to delete everything and he has to pay Kavanaugh a big fat sum. This is the guy saying that my MO is defamation. Dear God. So while we're already on legal stuff, Ethan Klein is represented in his many legal cases, like his lawsuit that he lost to Ryan Kavanaugh, by a law firm called Heya Bar Nissim. The Bar Nissim in that name refers to Ram Bar Nissim, an American lawyer who, get this, voluntarily chose to go and colonize the illegally occupied West Bank. He moved to Israel and
he was an English teacher in Israel and the West Bank.
He chose to move straight into a Palestinian house and into Palestinian land. Just about what you'd expect of the
Yeah, and where does it say that part? That he moved, like, bro, okay.
West Bank. He moved to Israel and
they've never built new structures.
He chose to move straight into a Palestinian house and into Palestinian land. Just about what you'd expect of the lawyer of Ethan and Hila Klein, given that Hila herself also terrorized and brutalized Palestinians in the West Bank. So that's another person close to Ethan who he seems to believe is a valid military target. His lawyer. The other lawyer representing Ethan Klein, the Hia in the Hia Bar Nissim name, is Tiffany Hia. Now, Tiffany isn't actually her real name. Her real name, which is freely available on the California Bar Association website, is Lee Yu Hia. Lee Yu Hia fled to the USA about a decade ago because of her involvement in the 1MDB corruption scandal in Malaysia, which is thought to be the largest theft from a sovereign state in history. Hia was counsel to Joe Low, who was the mastermind of the scheme, and she is believed to have been heavily involved in assisting him with carrying it out. Hia is, get this, currently listed as a wanted individual on the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission website. Ethan Klein's lawyer is wanted by the Malaysian government for helping to...
I looked it up, and the one article that he added, this is 20. So this is even a different one. The other one I saw was, where was it? The Malay Mail. This one just says, as of April 30th, 2025, it just says, also known, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission is tracking down a woman named Hia Liu Hia, also known as Tiffany, to assist in an investigation into a corruption case. So again, that isn't to say that necessarily she is guilty, but she is wanted. And who knows? Oh no, there she is. This also just like, have we not watched Better Call Saul? I'm not surprised by anything lawyers do. Except for my man, Bruce Rivers. He's the criminal lawyer. And what'd he do? He gonna react to all the self-snitching.
steal what is estimated as being at least $5 billion from the Malaysian state. She is hiding in California from legal consequences for her actions in Malaysia. Ethan Klein is someone who has accused me, with literally zero evidence, of being a wanted fugitive who's hiding in Argentina from unspecified crimes. And this is his lawyer. I sent a tip to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, informing them of the fact that Ethan Klein's lawyer is a fugitive hiding from justice in California, just in case they didn't know. And I actually received a response. TQ for your info. Thank you, Mod. Peace and love. So when Ethan Klein's... And I actually received a response. TQ for your info.
Is this literally just thank you for your... The fuck kind of message? This is the email they sent back to you? So I think it was like texted by like a 13-year-old.
Thank you, Mod. Peace and love. So when Ethan Klein sends embarrassing and frivolous legal letters to random Redditors in retaliation for them criticizing him, something that he has done many times before.
When you log on to your old college email for the first time in a while and find this gem. Oh, copyright infringement. Please see the attachment if you have canceled. I had allegedly posted a clip on the Snark page when I was active where Dan admitted that the main sub was banning anyone still in Snark. Guess they didn't like that too much. Shall I post the highlight of the letter? The highlights of the letter? Let's see it.
Letters in which he threatens to file frivolous legal proceedings against them purely for what he clearly implies in these letters.
Keep in mind that federal court filings are public. Anyone performing a simple Google search on you, let alone a background check, will discover this information. Yeah, I mean, it's just the truth. Don't commit fucking crimes if you don't want to, face litigation. It's not a threat. It's literally just, advice. It's life advice that if you do shit like this, you will be tried.
That is, the purpose of doxing that personal information and then spreading it. Know that the people who he's paying to do that for him are...
Again, it's not doxing. Oh my God. And this is why the whole idea of doxing is so fucking dumb when people are like, oh my God, doxing, this and that. Doxing isn't illegal because, it's about what you do with doxed information. What you do with this information. Because, putting someone's information out there is bad. Letting you know who somebody is, oh no. But... anonymity shouldn't protect you in the pursuit of committing crimes.
An illegal Israeli colonial settler who occupied the West Bank and a wanted individual by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission for her involvement in the world's worst ever corruption scandal. Ethan Klein, everyone. Ethan has also said on his stream that he is in a Discord that he calls a BadEmpanada support group that is dedicated to stalking me and doxing me and stuff, in which he and other people who I've refuted in the past, I guess, talk about me and try to dox me and dig up dirt on me or something.
I'm in a support group with 10 other people where I got the Discord messages from who have all been the target of relentless, horrific harassment. This is the kind of guy who he has a Patreon Discord that he...
Wait, is this... Is this from the same episode where Ethan said that he was going to release the stuff on him? I just want to see if that was from this episode. No? Or maybe not. Okay, so it was a separate episode. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I was going to say, if this was in the same episode, that would make it crazy to clip this differently.
Who have all been the target of relentless, horrific harassment. This is the kind of guy who he has a Patreon Discord that he basically a small, medium size of psychopaths that are all in on the harassment campaign. Where he'll drop a YouTube link, a Twitter link, a Reddit link, whatever, to go AstroTurf and whatever, just humiliate, harass, attack, etc., etc.
And again, this is...
I just love that BadEmpanada's excuse for this is the substance of his complaint is BadEmpanada shares things in Discord. BadEmpanada brigades people using his audience. What? Who cares? Bro, what?
Twitter link, a Reddit link, whatever, to go AstroTurf and whatever, just humiliate, harass, attack, etc., etc.
And again, this is someone who accused me of being the head honcho of a organized Discord harassment campaign against him, when he himself just openly admits to doing precisely what he accuses me of to me. so I've responded to a ton of Ethan Klein's political opinions and opinions on current events regarding Israel-Palestine and history and stuff like that, and Ethan Klein has never even tried to actually respond to me himself. Instead, it's always these personal attacks, and he really loves to claim that he's like the victim of anti-Semitism or whatever, you know, typical pro-Israel stuff. I've refuted all of the political and historical aspects of his whole content nuke video on Hassan Piker. I have refuted a number of his segments on his podcast, like his downplaying of the Palestinian Nakba, his spreading of malicious IDF genocidal propaganda, and the aforementioned video comparing Hila Klein to Rashid al-Haddad after he defamed Rashid al-Haddad as a terrorist. Ethan couldn't respond to any of those videos, but then something happened that was probably the best thing that's ever happened to him in his life, to be honest, because it allowed him to immediately frame himself as a victim to an audience of uncritical idiots. According to him and Hila at least, someone called Child Protective Services on them, and he immediately blamed this on like every single person who was critiquing him for his pro-Israel opinions. He's blamed me for that, he's blamed Hassan Piker.
Nice framing. It wasn't anybody who... It's because people were literally saying, he had fucking dog shit all over his house, and I don't know, maybe his kids were eating it. Remember when you fucking said that, BadEmpanada? Remember when you said that part? I don't think it was he's an Israeli supporter. I think it was because you were like, oh, I don't know if his kids are eating shit off the ground. Like...
He's blamed the YouTuber Denims, probably other people as well who I'm just forgetting. He actually blamed Denim so much that he ended up having to retract what he had said about her in order to protect himself from potential defamation proceedings by her.
I want to address something from Denim's correction demand in her letter. The letter claims I falsely stated that Denims herself filed the preceding CPS report, or that Denims caused others to do so. The letter also states, on March 11th, I acknowledged Denims had denounced herself or anyone in her community making contact with CPS. Let me be clear. I have never claimed that Denims called CPS. I have never implied that Denims called CPS. If my statements were interpreted as stating this, I want to correct the record and make it clear that I do not believe that Denims called CPS. Obviously, moronic, idiotic, stupid. Let me also address the point in the letter that I claimed Denim caused others to call CPS. I did not state, and I do not believe Denims made a direct call to action to her audience to contact CPS. Obviously, right? Never said that?
Can you show the actual like substance of what he's about to say, though, that he believes that she inadvertently allowed her audience to believe that the best outcome would be to call CPS by allowing it to propagate in her chat?
She did CPS, remember that? Okay.
Ethan has also
She did CPS. What does that mean? She owns it? What does that mean? She owns it?
Outright admitted that he doesn't actually have any clue as to who called CPS.
Who called CPS? What the fuck? So I don't know.
Meaning that every person who he said called them is someone who he knowingly defamed.
And this came out 10 days ago after when he literally remember when Ethan posted the image of the CPS report where they said that where it says in it that the call was unfounded or something.
As a result
along
of
those
this
lines?
defamation that Ethan Klein made against me, I've received quite a number of death threats, many dozens in the very least, from his lovely fans, vividly
How do you know these are his fans?
Meaning that every person who he said called them is someone who he knowingly defamed. And as a result of this defamation that Ethan Klein made against me, I've received quite a number of death threats, many dozens in the very least, from his lovely fans, vividly describing
Stab you. I will 100%. I will 110% attack you with a knife, and I will aim for your neck. Do you understand, you subhuman freak? You look like your dad married and fucked a goat. Oh, and don't forget, there is no genocide in Gaza. That's crazy. I'll be back in Argentina soon, or I will find you and will put a knife in your neck. I like that did he mean to block their like name, but then just left it right here?
Made against me. I've received quite a number of death threats, many dozens in the very least, from his lovely.
Because it's breaking. H3 fans are now having a shit and piss off from the Hassan Piker to determine whose house is covered in the most animal excrement. I'll be back in Argentina sooner. I will find you and I will put a knife in your neck. This could be either a Hassan or an H3 fan if that's what you're claiming, that because he's responding to this. But this person just seems like an actual psychopath and like is just sending you fucking insane messages. This person said, "You deserve a bullet in the head. Go fuck a goat, you stupid bad stuff. Looking like a piece of shit. In order to raise money for my criminal defense against the serious charges laid against me by Ethan Klein, I'm holding a contest where the price is a date with me. DM to enter. Looking like a piece of shit. Go die in Afghanistan, fucking a dirt hole." And then, goddamn. Yeah, no, this is some straight racism they're throwing at him. Crazy shit. But, Again, I don't see how this, just because they're responding to posts of you talking about this, do not...
To hunt down and kill me. This is on top of his incitement of his lovely, brilliant, definitely not disgusting, doxing, and harassing fans with literally nothing better to do in their life but this, accusing me of...
What was that? I don't speak Spanish.
Brilliant, definitely not disgusting, doxing, and harassing fans with literally nothing better to do in their life but this, accusing me of being on the run from child sex crime charges. Ethan Klein, the master defamer, literally the only thing that he knows how to do. Every accusation really is a confession with the Zionists. Ethan has milked this for all it's worth because he knows that he can't actually win on what everyone actually cares about here, which is Israel-Palestine. He doesn't want to admit that he's wrong. He doesn't want to cede any ground on that. So instead, Ethan wants to frame himself as a massive victim. Like, he wants to frame himself as being doxed, attacked, harassed. Basically, he wants to get as far away from the actual issue, Israel-Palestine, as possible, and instead frame it as just people attacking him. He especially wants to frame it as people attacking him because he's Jewish. You know, very typical Zionist stuff, because Zionists know that they cannot actually win on the facts regarding Israel-Palestine. They know their views are abhorrent, so they retreat to this sort of bullshit, where they just play victim and pretend that people are attacking them on an anti-Semitic basis so they can avoid actually dealing with the facts, the figures, the arguments. So Ethan's narrative regarding this CPS call has been ridiculous from the very beginning. He tries to frame it as like swatting, as if like SEAL Team 6 like kicked in his door or something and tried to take his kids away.
That's quite literally not how he's ever framed it at all. Show a clip of this. He shows clips of he shows like 3-second clips of like the most stupid shit, and then makes claims that he could very clearly clip and he could show us the evidence of, but he just doesn't. Instead, he shows a stupid fucking meme from 2015.
That's not what Child Protective Services do. All that happened here is a social worker came to his house, asked him and Hila some questions, asked to see the kids, then talked to the kids, and that was it. A trained social worker checking in on your kids is not you being a victim of any sort of harassment.
Oh my God. It is if there's no reason for CPS to be called on your house. If it was done by someone who does not know you, does not know your family, does not know the ins and outs, or not even the ins and outs, doesn't have any type of interaction with you or your children, yes, it was done through some form of harassment. Whether it be internet harassment or interpersonal harassment from somebody you know. Like, come on, man.
Campaign or of anything that put you at any real risk at all at any point. But Ethan wants you to think that this is like the time when, for example, Nazis tried to swat him. It's not. Sending armed police to your house. A CPS call is not the same thing as that. It's a precautionary measure. And the best outcome of a CPS call is that everything that the caller said was false. So if that was the case here, everything worked as intended. The kids were checked on, everything was confirmed to actually be fine. The system worked as intended. But Ethan is trying to frame it as if like a SWAT team.
Yes, but oh my God, how is this so hard to understand? It is a misuse of services, and thus, even though the services are working well, those services could have been utilized for another family that actually needs it. But you're taking the time away from these individuals who only have so much time in a day. Like, come on, like, use your brain. You talk about how, oh, Ethan's fan base is so stupid. Come on.
Team came to his door, guns drawn, and were like a second away from shooting him and his kids.
You know, I told you guys too that the rules had changed once these people promoted CPS and justified it. The rules had changed for me. This is it. Game's on. Nothing's slowing me down. There's no line I won't cross. There's nothing.
And again, he's not talking about CPS. He's talking about the people that called CPS. This isn't a war on CPS, dumbass. Like,
I won't do against people that have promoted, encouraged, and justified CPS coming to my house.
Give us a fucking break, man. This is not the end of the world, and it's all because he...
It seems like there's a large number of people in here right now. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do an H3 waiting room every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so please do it. I need it, please.
He is desperate to play the victim here because he was in the back foot regarding Israel-Palestine, so massively overstating what actually happened and harping on it endlessly for months on end is all that he really had left. And just to be clear here, Ethan doesn't even think that it's wrong to call for this sort of thing against others, except in much worse ways. For example, on one podcast episode, Ethan just asked a lawyer straight up, how can we get Hassan Piker arrested? Can we report him for terrorism? You know, how can we ruin his life?
Any laws that we can go after Hassan for? Are you familiar with that? Has he broken any domestic terror laws or... No, probably not domestic terror laws, but like inciting. I mean, what can we do about that?
Yeah, that's out of my realm. I usually do just civil stuff.
Sure, fair
fair
enough.
He clearly doesn't have any problems with trying to weaponize the state against people he doesn't like. And, you know, reporting someone for terrorism and trying to get them arrested for that is a whole lot more serious than just a CPS call. And recently, Adam McIntyre, another person who he has been feuding with, I know it's hard to keep up, there's so fucking many of them, was reported to ICE by tons of H3H3 Productions fans. You know, ICE, which has been rounding up immigrants in the street and disappearing them. Yeah, they tried to report this guy to them. Ethan's response to seeing his fans doing this was basically, you deserve it, you reap what you sow. This guy doesn't give a fuck.
That's literally not what happened again. Again, show that this comes after another Instagram post. There was one before this where he literally says it was a good thing that his subreddit got taken down because calling ICE on anybody is wrong.
fuck about any of this. He thinks it's totally fine to weaponize state apparatuses against people, which is...
And this also isn't the one where he says that ICE was called on his employee and that snarkers were trying to do that. So, like, again, like, picking and choosing these little things, these little individual things. Also, why do you show the part of the screen for this? You show... It's just like the editing he chooses is very, very precise. Because some of the time he shows the entire image, the entire story, even if it's not like important. But then he zooms in on this when this is clearly in the top half of the shot, which would mean that there is another image or something else included in this story, which he is not including in his like showing. So come on, BadEmpanada. I see you. I see what you're doing.
Which is what he's accusing others of doing to him, except, you know, calling CPS on someone is a whole fucking lot less serious than reporting them to the FBI for terrorism or reporting them to ICE. Now, I never even mentioned CPS. The thought never even crossed my mind. And the notion that CPS would, like, take seriously a call from some totally random anonymous person based on literally nothing is a total joke in of itself. Ethan Klein himself said that CPS told him that the call came from someone who knew him and his family.
He said, like, when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that you know who made the report. And I'm like, no, okay.
And the only thing contradicting that is that Ethan Klein said it didn't. Said that actually it was...
Well, again, this was posted after Ethan did post on his story. I was trying to find it on the subreddit and I can't seem to find it. If anyone knows where the link is, let me know. But Ethan provided the document from CPS where they said that the call was found to be unfounded or whatever, something along those lines, where the call wasn't a legitimate call. The call was found to be illegitimate or something like that. So it wasn't just his word. It was him waiting for the legal document to be able to come to him, since it was, you know, an ongoing case that had been resolved. It's like it had just been resolved, so they had to wait for, you know, to be able to get the stuff all documented and sent over.
Was from someone from H3 Snark. And in this case, I think the social worker from CPS, who said that it was someone who knows the family, is probably a more reliable narrator than Ethan himself, who is desperate to play the victim in order to score sympathy points because he is losing an argument based around his tacit support for an ongoing genocide, which he knows he can't actually deal with on that basis, so he has to start playing dirty and start pretending to be some sort of massive victim. It's incredibly convenient to his narrative that this was not what the CPS officer said, and it was actually someone spurred into action by apparently me or H3 Snark or Asan Piker or Denims. I've lost track of all the people he's accused of this, telling them to call CPS, something that never happened. Ethan has said that he was going to report this to the police and get down to the bottom of this because it was a clearly false call according to him. But if that's the case, why isn't he doing that? Why did he say he would do that and then he never did it? It's almost like...
Wait, what? I'm filing a police report about the fraudulent CPS call. Tips are anonymous unless you break the law. I am working and getting permits to protest outside Reddit HQ.
He was accused of this, telling them to call CPS, something that never happened. Ethan has said that he was going to report this to the police and get down to the bottom of this because it was a clearly false call according to him. But if that's the case, why isn't he doing that? Why?
How do you know he hasn't?
Why did he say he would do that and then he never did it? It's almost like his narrative here is complete bullshit, and that the call actually did at least have some merit to it, or that revealing who the caller was would not fit in with his...
Oh, they started? Oh, we did. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 hours before the H3 podcast. So thank you so much. I will be here again. Love y'all. We're started. Go watch. He's buying Creator Clash. It's important. Maybe I'll continue this. Maybe I won't. Ugh.